5,000 and a playoff atmosphere to see the Lions and the Dolphins on Sunday night NFL. Call them the Lion-Hearted. Once counted among the dead, Detroit has roared back to the playoff pack with hopes of a division title still alive. But the Lion of Lions has a date with history, and all eyes are upon him. Barry Sanders is approaching the hallowed ground of 2,000 yards, and tonight is the night.
I'm going to try my best to get as many yards as I can, and if I get to 2,000 yards, I'm not going to stop there.
One thing you have to remember is that the Central Division title in the NFC is ours, and it will be ours until somebody comes up and takes it.
It's a prelude to the playoffs on Sunday night NFL. Scenario in the NFC. If the Lions win, they will host a wild card game next week, but could still win the division if Minnesota loses tomorrow night. If the Lions lose, they'll be on the road for a wild card game against Green Bay or Minnesota. In the AFC, the Dolphins can wrap up the East with a victory tonight and host the Chiefs in a first-round game next week. But if they lose, the Patriots win the East, and Miami heads to Cleveland for a wild card game with the Browns. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Joe Theismann. It's great to have you with us. And from our families to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And boy, do we have a gift for you. We get to watch Barry Sanders go after a milestone only two other men in the history of this league have ever achieved. 2,000 yards rushing in a single season. And Joe will have 45 teammates, 14 coaches, most of the free world hoping he gets it.
You're absolutely right, Mike. Make no mistake. The Wayne Fonts and the Detroit Lions are going to do everything they can to get Barry Sanders his 169 yards that he needs to reach 2,000. Now, Santa Claus is not on the other side of the line bearing gifts. As a matter of fact, Brian Cox said, we don't want to be a part of Barry Sanders' highlight film if he does get 2,000 yards. The Dolphins are going to stack 8 men around the line of scrimmage. They want to shut down Barry Sanders. They figure if you're going to take a shot at beating us, you're going to have to do it with David Craig, who's been really hot.
He's been on fire, and that's a term you can't use to describe the Miami Dolphins. For the second year in a row, they've gone down the stretch in a slump, this time with a healthy Dan Marino. Teams want to go into the playoffs with momentum. Joe, even with all the other things that are on the line tonight for Miami, momentum alone makes this a huge game for them.
Well, Mike, if they want to pull themselves out of the hole they dug in Indianapolis last week, they're going to have to do a couple things. First of all, they're going to have to play 4 quarters of football. Here's a football team that has scored no touchdowns in the first quarter. They've only managed 15 total points. Now, that's a league low. Secondly, they're going to have to run the football. Bernie Parmalay's going to have himself a big night. You just can't continually count on Dan Marino to bail you out, Mike. You know, you talk about these Dolphins needing this game. They really do. They have to get some momentum going. If they don't get it going tonight, I don't see them going very far in the playoffs.
I agree with you. Detroit comes into this game with multiple goals. First, they're thinking playoffs, and they're thinking football history. For more on that, here's Mark Malone.
Mike, with Barry Sanders approaching the 2,000-yard mark, we thought it only appropriate that a member of that Lions offensive line step into our Sunday night spotlight. So tonight we'll focus on the point man of that unit, center Kevin Glover. He's asked to make all the offensive line calls, and he's often called upon to make the key blocks that spring Barry Sanders. So tonight with our spotlight camera, we'll show you what it's like to play center in the NFL. I'll bring you video reports as Glover and his line mates try to propel Barry Sanders to 2,000 yards. Mike?
All right, Mark, that should be great fun to watch. There's Wayne Fonts in his 6th year with the Lions, still hoping to win the division for the 3rd time in 4 years. He needs only 4 more victories to be #1 on the Lions' all-time coaching list. Don Shula needing only 1 more regular season win to pass George Halas in that department. He already has the most wins ever, including the playoffs. He's done away with the golf cart and on to the scooter, which he loves very much. And as a matter of fact, Joe got a demonstration in the office the other day. Got a free ride.
Coach Shule let me drive it around the office over at the Dolphin complex. It's really easy to handle, and you'll see his license plate is Dolphin 1. I think that says it all.
The story of Barry Sanders, just a remarkable year, has a shot at 2,000 yards tonight. His teammates are so much more excited about it than he is.
Well, especially the offensive line. They really feel like it's an accomplishment that they want to give him. He's one of the truly bona fide superstars in this league. And it's interesting. Quite often on a team, Mike, you find a superstar that isn't liked by everybody. This guy is loved by every one of his teammates.
Jason Hansen tees it up at the 30-yard line, 5th in the NFL in touchbacks. He led the league a year ago as they moved the yard line back 5 yards. Irving Spikes and O.J. McDuffie are deep to receive. Sellout crowd on Christmas night from Miami, and we are underway. Spikes from the 8 to the 30. 38-yard line. Great return by Spikes. On offense for Miami, Dan Marino having another brilliant season. He leads the AFC in quarterback rating and touchdown passes. He's thrown for over 4,000 yards. Back-to-back Pro Bowls for Irving Fryer. He set career highs with 72 catches, 1,232 yards. And Richmond Webb has been a star since his rookie season. He's smooth, has quick feet. He's been to the Pro Bowl every year of his career. Marino to throw on first down. And completes it on first down to Ingram. Down to the 37-yard line. Willie Clay had to make the tackle. A gain of 25 on the first play.
Marino gets good protection. It looks like they say, hey, look, Dan's our hot guy. We're going to come out. Good protection up front so he can step in, makes the throw. Ingram does a nice job of settling in the hole so that Dan has the place to put the football.
Irving Fryer a little slow getting up after that play. McDuffie checks in for him. Now Detroit makes a late substitution. Plate clock not running. And now they'll wind it. Bernie Parmalee puts the head down, fights forward, maybe 2 yards. Spielman made the tackle. On defense, the Lions' run defense ranked 22nd in the league. One reason, the ankle injury to Mark Spindler that cost him several games. He's the best run stopper. Spielman is the Pro Bowl starter this year, 183 tackles, breaking his own record. And Robert Massey, the unrestricted free agent from Phoenix, has had a major impact, leading the club with 4 interceptions. Spielman, a throwback linebacker. He played 2 tonight if they'd let it. Marino with all day to throw. Complete the 2. Jackson to the 5. Blades made the tackle.
Protection is going to be the biggest factor here, Mike. Look at the offensive line. They really build a nice wall. They allow Danny to slide and step up, and that's really what makes a difference. Now he wants Jackson. He needs a big night. Jackson needs a big night to try and take pressure off the outside receivers.
Very Marino-like, 2 for 2, 55 yards on the opening drive, 1st and goal. Parmalee inside the 2. Remember, this club has yet to score a touchdown in the first quarter all year. The only team in the NFL stuck on 0.
Well, they're on the verge of not being a part of history. And certainly Coach Shule has been around history enough this year. This is not one he wants, I'm sure.
Last week, all they could get was field goals. They were in this situation before, could not score. Second and goal, Parmalee bounces off the tackle, gets to the 1.
Michael, this creates a real dilemma for the Dolphins. They really want to establish the run. They know what happened to them last week in Indianapolis. They were not able to get the ball in the end zone. Now Gary Stevens, the offensive coordinator's really got to make a decision. Do we put it up in the air, or do we really try and go behind Sims and Webb and see what happens? I think they have to run it.
Two tight ends in. Saxon in the backfield with Parmalee. Parmalee off that left side. Touchdown. If Miami wasn't going to score in the first quarter all year, they certainly found a good time to do it.
Well, the thing about it, Mike, is they had to call that play for their own emotion. But the big key down on the goal line is to block the linebacker. Number 54, Chris Spielman, is not going to be able to get over and make the play. You see him run. Now he wants to jump through. He gets a hit, but it's a hit on the side. Watch Spielman come from the right. He only hits Parmalee on the side. You're not going to stop him hitting him on the side.
Stoyanovich for the point after. He's hit 33 in a row this year, and the Miami Dolphins score on the opening drive. Barry Sanders' turn when we come back.
Power Rangers, massive quantities of power coins are coming to Earth.
What?
Where?
McDonald's. Now kids can get a Power Rangers power coin free when you buy something to eat. 13 coins in all. Or if they're really lucky, they might get an instant win coin and win cool prizes, like a chance to meet the real Power Rangers. But hurry, they're moving fast.
What you want is what you get.
I've got more dead.
And the Blue Ranger? And the Pink Ranger?
Only one combines power and effortless performance like Fred Couples. Only one blends pinpoint control and the ability to read the terrain like Lee Trevino. Only one personifies endurance like Arnold Palmer. Only one can play like this. Seville STS with the North Star system. The great performers are always creating a higher standard.
You a cowboy?
Sorta.
You ride?
Some.
I'll give you 2 pieces of advice, cowboy. Change your oil more often.
And?
Watch out for them blind side blitzes.
Get real.
Logo Athletic, authentic team apparel.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Logo Athletic. Get real with authentic team apparel. By Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. And by Residence Inn by Marriott, the next best thing to home.
Miami took less than 3.5 minutes to score on the opening drive of the game and leads 7-0. Richmond Webb, the all-pro left tackle, along with Keith Sims, the Pro Bowl guard. They were the ones who led the way. And Stoyanovich to kick it away to Derek Moore and Mel Gray. And Mel Gray looking for his own piece of history tonight. Tied with the legendary Ollie Matson, 9 kickoff returns and punt returns for touchdowns all time. He already leads in kick returns and yardage. Gray from the 13. Hit us across the 20 down to the 23. Muhammad Oliver made the tackle on special teams. Take a look at the Lion offense, and taking over as starting quarterback, Dave Craig has gone 5-1 with a remarkable 13 touchdown passes, only 1 interception. Herman Moore didn't make the Pro Bowl. He's an alternate, but has more than 1,000 yards receiving, 7th in the conference. Lomas Brown has always been a superb pass blocker. He'll be a starter in the Pro Bowl, his 5th straight trip. And here we go. All eyes on number 20. He's got Eric Lynch as a blocking back in front of him. Play action by Craig. Throws to Sanders. And he couldn't hold it. Dwight Hollier was right there. Take a look at the Miami defense. Rookie Tim Bowens gives the Dolphins the physical presence they've needed for years. At 3'17", he's extremely quick. Brian Cox makes the Pro Bowl as a middle linebacker. He made it as an outside backer in '92 as a starter. And Gene Atkins, third on the team in tackles, will be a key in stopping Detroit's running game. He's been an impact free agent. Brian Cox, the emotional leader of this defense. 2nd and 10, Sanders the single back, 3 wide receivers. Barry Sanders with his first carry. Takes 2 tackles in the backfield, picks up 4 or 5. Not only does Barry Sanders get all those yards and break the great runs, he doesn't give up the ball. 714 times in a row, he has had the ball and not lost a fumble. It's remarkable.
And that's what every coach dreams of, a running back that you can count on that doesn't put the ball on the ground and lose it.
Look at Barry Sanders. You say, I don't care if the guy fumbles 10 times a year. He's staying in. That's right. 3rd and 6. 5-man rush. Craig with time. And incomplete, intended for more, covered by Vincent. Excellent coverage by the 3rd-year corner out of Wisconsin.
One thing about the corners for the Miami Dolphins, like Troy Vincent and J.B. Brown, they don't give up as much physical strength or height to Herman Moore. Herman Moore is a big guy coming across, but Troy Vincent actually is there just as a nuisance. Herman just dropped it. We've seen 2 drop passes by the Detroit Lion offense in the 3 plays that they've run.
Montgomery with a great average again, punting to O.J. McDuffie. Returnable kick from the 33. McDuffie back to the 49. Excellent return. Victor Jones had to make the tackle. He brought it back 16 after a punt of 39.
I can't believe it! 62, Dunkaroo! Slam, bam, jam! Hey, fans, there is nothing like the excitement of college sports. And guess what? Now you can get a hot new magazine that's nothing but college sports. Every issue brings you the inside story on football, baseball, hockey, and more. Hey, and does it cover college hoops? Are you serious? Like nobody else. But it's unbelievable, baby. You can get a whole year of college sports for just $12.95. But can you believe it? Call now, and you also get my fantastic March Madness preview free. You'll get the inside story on all the tournament teams, plus my fantastic predictions. This deal is awesome, baby. Call now.
Call 1-800-331-DUNK for 12 great issues of College Sports Magazine, plus your free Dick Vitale's March Madness preview.
Are you a jock? Do you like to rock? ESPN presents Jock Rock, the greatest crowd rockin' sports anthems of all time on one CD. You can't get any closer to the action without getting hurt. It's not for fans, it's for fanatics. Jock Rock at record stores everywhere.
When the Grinch beat up the little dog and threw him down the hill, and the Grinch had stole Christmas, I remember my brother and I used to watch that all the time and just laugh because, I don't know, we thought it was funny. We really enjoyed watching the Grinch, so I say the Grinch is my favorite Christmas memory.
Not exactly your warm and fuzzy Christmas memory. He said that Dan Marino has great possibilities as the Grinch tonight. Love to watch him play. Good protection again for Marino, and throws behind Parmalee out of the backfield.
One thing I've noticed tonight, Mike, is that the offensive line of the Miami Dolphins is allowing Dan Marino to step up into the pocket, which is very important. He's not the kind of guy who's going to run around a lot, so you've got to protect the middle. That's something they've done very well against that Detroit Lions front four.
And something the Lions are very concerned about is getting pressure with that front four. They don't want to blitz Marino. They come with a blitz this time, though, and Parmalee hitting the backfield as the flag goes down. Spielman over to the official as if he was held.
Interesting decision for Herb Patera and the defensive coaches. Do you want to come up 3rd and 10, or do you want to put the ball back in Marino's hands? Looks like Coach Fonts is saying take him back. I'd actually go 3rd and 10. I don't think I'd give Marino 2 shots.
Holding, number 78, offense, 10 yards, repeat 2nd down.
That's Richmond Webb. So it will be 2nd and 20.
I'm always a little leery when you've got a guy like Dan Marino to put the ball in his hands for 2 more downs. Now he's got 1 shot at it. Of course, the Lions are one of the poorest teams in the league on 3rd down, so it might make sense.
Absolutely. Miami scored on its opening possession. The Dolphins up 7-0. Marino with all day to throw again. Throws underneath. Parmalee back near the original line of scrimmage. Michael Johnson, who's done a fine job coming over from Cleveland as a free agent, makes the stop.
Mike, I want to show you the pocket that I'm talking about that Dan has to go into the ball, into his throws. As they go back, the Dolphins do a nice job. See this right here? He's going to have a chance to step up and throw the football. That's what you're looking for. He has a chance to move towards the line so that he can make the good, accurate throw. And this 3rd down, has been a problem for the Detroit Lions. They want to get off the field on 3rd down.
3rd and 10. Marino again with a lot of time, and even dropped the ball at the 35. He was covered by McNeil, but he was open, and the ball hit him right in the hands.
Marino certainly getting his fair share of chances. Ingram's got a shot at it. He might have committed to the air just a little bit too soon. You know, Mike, certain guys are jumpers, certain guys stay on the ground. Mark Ingram likes to go up and have the ball around his body. That time it was away, and it got away from him.
John Kidd. What? The punt to Gray. And trying to kick away from him. Gray signals fair catch, makes it at the 15. There's a flag down on the play. And Miami may get to do it again.
Now here's a case where if I'm Detroit, Miami gets called for holding, definitely refuse it and put the ball back in the hands of your best kick returner.
You mean you take it?
I take the penalty, yes. Isn't that what I said?
No.
I take it.
So Gordon McCarter will bring it back.
Holding, number 35, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat 4th down.
It's Michael Stewart is in on the punt coverage team. And it will be 4th and 20 for Miami. So they really squandered some excellent field goal position. And special teams have plagued the Dolphins. They allowed a kickoff return and a punt return for touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. And now they're facing maybe the best of all time.
Mike Westhoff, the special teams coach, has said that in his entire career, he's never had anybody return a kickoff on him.
What? Yeah. Off the side of his foot. And out of bounds. Very short kick, and the penalty cost the Miami Dolphins. Detroit with good field position when we come back.
When you can trust something and know it'll come through for you, that's everything. One of the things we focused on with the new DeVille Concord was making it reliable. We designed the North Star system so that if it ever lost all of its engine coolant, you'd still be able to drive a DeVille Concord up to 50 miles to safety, even in desert heat. You may never need it, but it'll be there for you. There's a car company that cares enough to give you this kind of dependability. That's my company, Cadillac.
Another hotel room. Let's trash it! Wait. This don't look like an hotel room. It looks like my home. I can see the old man now sitting with this pipe in front of the fire. Well, look at this beautiful kitchen. You know, I can almost smell me going steak and kidney pie. We could always say we trashed it.
Residence Inn by Marriott. The next best thing to home.
It's almost 4.
We'll make it.
why spread satin is formulated to cover the first time, so you can finish in less time. Glidden, a better way to paint.
Thrifty Car Rental Bowl Week. It's the only solid week of bowls on television. The week kicks off with the Poland Weed Eater Independence Bowl when Virginia takes on TCU. Wednesday at 8, only on ESPN.
7-0 Dolphins, and those overhead shots courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes out of Pompano Beach, Florida. At the controls, Captain Dick Esch. He is from Sunrise, Florida. Beautiful night in South Florida to fly, and a beautiful night for football. That penalty cost them 22 yards in field position, did the holding call. The Dolphins now let the Lions out to the 37. Craig had that ball apparently tipped the line of scrimmage, and Vincent nearly picked it off. Looked like Bowen's got a hand on it.
It's an interesting way the Lions have started throwing the ball in 1st and 10 both times. Herman Moore comes out. He's going to take advantage of his height. He's physical. Troy Vincent's hanging on a little bit. The ball is nowhere near out in front and just got nicked at the line of scrimmage. Troy Vincent doing a good job. He realized he's got the big task tonight to try and shut down Herman Moore.
Craig off to an 0-3 start. Sanders on the draw. Barry Sanders about 5, pushed out of bounds.
You know, Mike, sitting and visiting with Tom Olivadotti, the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins, you hear him talk about the things that his defense has to do and things that coaches teach, but you don't hear him necessarily mention all the time. Break down as he comes at you. Fundamentally sound. Get a good base. Square your shoulders. Get your shoulders and hips pointed towards the goal line. Keep that head up so you can see him. These are all things that are stressed during training camp. Now he wants to reinforce it against a great back like Barry Sanders.
And then Pop Warner where they're stressed. 3rd and 5. Craig with time and incomplete. Herman Moore had a shot at it, but had a couple of Dolphins around him, including Dwight Hollier. So 3 and out twice in a row for the Detroit offense.
3rd down continues to haunt them. You know, Herman Moore has dropped 2. Barry Sanders has dropped 1. If you've got a playoff stake to play at home, you've got to start making plays, and that's what the Lions have not done so far.
McDuffie waits outside his own 10 for the punt of Greg Montgomery. He's the alternate to the Pro Bowl for the NFC. Averaged 44.5 yards a kick. Beauty. And McDuffie didn't get up to get the ball, and fortunately for him, it takes a bounce in favor of the Dolphins. Turns out to be a 40-yard punt. Dan Marino's career average is better than anybody probably that ever lived, and he is posting better numbers this year than his career average, throwing for over 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. That's incredible. He's averaged 29 touchdown passes a year.
And for 10 years, Dan Marino has been the offense of the Miami Dolphins. He came in here throwing, and he'll probably go out throwing. And whatever success they enjoy will be because of his arm.
And he's doing it with still the bad leg, having the Achilles injury last year, not fully recovered. May even need additional surgery when the season is over. Parmalee on 1st and 10. Nothing there. And the ball came loose. No signal yet from the officials, and Gordon McCarter down there in the pile. Lions say they have it.
And Gordon McCarter is signaling that way as well. Spielman's got the ball. I think that's the way they decided, Mike. If you have the ball, it belongs to you.
Broderick Thomas may have been the man who shook it loose.
Chris Spielman focused on Parmalee. Widener takes him on. He sticks it in. Porcher comes in from behind and grabs his arm. You'll see number 91 come in from the side. He grabs and pulls. And there's the ball out on the ground. And Spielman's on top of it.
Big break for the Lions. Sanders was tripped, actually, by Cross, who whipped a leg around and took his feet out from under him. Gain of maybe 1.
I think that's when a defensive coach holds his breath the most, Mike, is when they see Barry start to hop a little left, hop a little right. That means he's looking for some place to go in a hurry.
We will keep track of Barry Sanders' every yard tonight as the countdown to 2,000. 3 carries, 10 yards. He needs another 159. That's a tremendous number of yards, but he is a tremendous athlete. Craig to Sanders in the flat. Knocked out of bounds. J.B. Brown took him out at the 14. And that's one of the things that Dave Craig has helped this offense with. He's made Barry Sanders a better receiver.
Well, he really has, Mike. David moves the ball around all over the place. But what will happen now is as Barry Sanders comes back to the huddle, if David Craig wants him to do something else, he can communicate with him and say, listen, next time I'll try and get it to you quicker or something else. But he has really incorporated him into the passing game.
You can see by those numbers, this is a great matchup for the Lions against the 28th ranked defense inside the front. Craig for the end zone, incomplete, intended for Matthews, but he was covered by Frankie Smith.
The Lions get the matchup they want. What you're looking for is one-on-one coverage. Watch David Craig's head. He looks out to the right. Now he knows exactly where he wants to go because he's got the one-on-one coverage. And Matthews just can't quite reach it. He throws the ball a little bit flat and just off his fingertips.
So Jason Hanson comes on for a 32-yard field goal. He had been having a terrible year, but has made his last 8. Make it the last 9. But that's a good stand for the Dolphin defense. After the turnover, they give up only a field goal.
Can your radio do this? Only one radio gives you stereo sound this big, yet it's small enough to fit almost anywhere. The incredible new Wave radio from Bose. Press the remote control and hear sound like you've never heard from a radio before. Big, rich sound that really fills the room. You hear music the way it was meant to be heard. Clear, full, incredibly lifelike. You've got to hear the Wave radio to believe it, but it's only available from Bose, the most respected name in audio. Call our toll-free number. We'll send you a free information kit about the Wave radio. You'll learn how we make such big stereo sound come from a radio this small. Call for more information about the Bose Wave radio. It'll make a difference in the way you listen to music. A big difference.
Tired of being snowed in? Plowed under? Is your technique going all downhill? Stop! Let A.J. Kitt, Peekaboo Street, and Holly Flanders teach you to ski like a champion for less than the cost of a ski mask. Take a lesson from the pros with ESPN's Let's Go Skiing. Only $14.95 plus $4 shipping and handling. Call 1-800-717-ESPN. Please specify beginner or advanced.
7-0 Miami. Kevin Glover in our Sunday night spotlight. Let's check in with Mark Malone.
Thanks, Mike. We told you that Kevin Glover is a man who has to make a lot of line calls. He also has to block a lot of different people depending on the alignment, especially the cock nose of the Miami Dolphins. Take a look at a couple of plays. Right here, he has to go past the nose guard and then on the cock. Does a pretty good job moving him down the field for 4 yards. And then here, he double teams and then comes off on the middle linebacker, almost puts him on the ground. He's a very athletic center. He's done a great job so far, although Barry Sanders has not really gotten loose. Mike?
All right, thank you, Mark. Spikes and McDuffie are deep for Hanson's kick, 7-3, 6:43 to go first quarter. McDuffie from the 2. Stays on his feet across the 25, still fighting for yards to the 30. Check back with Mark.
All right, Mike, so far, as we said, not a lot happening. They've snapped the ball 9 times. Barry's carried it 3 for 10 yards. No misses so far. in terms of blocking for Glover. He's blocked 2 players once, and you'll see that a lot tonight. We'll show you more video. Mike?
All right, Mark, and the Lions very upset that Glover did not make the Pro Bowl. They thought he deserved it.
Always a good thing when the center has no misses.
Yes.
Makes everybody feel good.
Especially you quarterbacks. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. Marino with a lot of time again to Parmalee. Spielman makes the tackle, but not before he gets out to the 38-yard line.
Mike, I can't really stress enough the reason why Marino's having the opportunity to do what he's doing. Here they come with the blitz. That means everybody's got somebody to block. There's the pocket. He has an opportunity to step up here and make the throw. That's the big key in why the Dolphins are able to throw the ball in 1st and 10 so effectively.
2nd and 2 for Miami. Bernie Parmalee hands the 1st down. Drags 2 tacklers with him. Johnson and Swilling out to the 44. Pat Swilling making his first start since the 6th week of the season when he lost his job to Tracy Scroggins. Has come back and played well. Wayne Font said he has been an excellent practice player and deserved to win the job back.
Tracy Scroggins will see some time tonight, and it's one of the things that Richmond Webb's going to have to deal with. With Scroggins and Swilling both playing that right defensive end position, they're going to be fresh as this night goes on.
Marino again with a lot of time. Overthrows Fryer. Clay got there at the last moment.
There's one thing to be said about a quarterback who's stationary. If you're a left tackle, you know where he's going to be. Richmond Webb likes to set up about 4 yards. He knows Dan's going to basically be in the pocket, and all he does is continue to ride Swilling around the cup and allow Dan to step up.
5:06 to go, 1st period. Marino facing a 2nd and 10 from his own 44. Ingram short. As Detroit drops 8 men into coverage, it's going to be 3rd and about 5.
You know why I think the Dolphins are throwing so much on 1st and 10, Mike? The matchup that they like. You'll notice that the ball has been thrown inside the hashes, and Coach Shula is the kind of guy who looks at the whole game in an overview and he figures, hey, if Spielman's in there, he's a great run defender, not necessarily a great pass defender. So let's try and work inside where Spielman's got to make moves on people. That way I think the offense has the advantage.
Craver comes in on 3rd down, and as you saw, the Lions the worst in the league in stopping people on 3rd down. Here comes the blitz. Marino unloads, complete. Ingram diving for the 6. Look at where they marked the ball. Ingram had the ball out in front of the chains. The question is going to be, when was his knee down where the ball was at that time?
Remember, even if the ball is in the air, if his knee is on the ground, it has to be where the ball is in the air when his knee hits the ground, not where it lands on the ground. Here's our reverse angle. Ball goes the other way. Now watch where it is. Watch his knee. Knee's on the ground, but you see, the ball was still in the air, so it was a good spot by the official.
That's a great call by that official, too.
Real interesting. Watch his knee. There goes the left knee. It's on the ground. Now the ball comes down. It's not where the ball landed.
Excellent call. Not an easy call to make either.
And they're going to come up short, Mike.
And Ingram is still down, giving that 2nd effort on the last play. They appear to be working on his right foot. Watch his right foot.
Willie Clay has got him. See it roll over? It's actually his left foot.
And Ingram up, able to walk off, and they got the 1st down by the nose of the football.
And that's through the effort of Mark Ingram. That's the way they got it, just pure effort.
Absolutely.
Didn't think they had it, but he just got enough.
1st and 10. He's been shuttling back and forth the wide receiver with McDuffie. So Miami keeps the drive alive as they've reached the line 46. Ingram had those 4 touchdown catches. and 24 points against the Jets. And look at the yards in the first half. The Lions unable to get on track so far. Spikes on the toss behind Saxon. And the Lions did a beautiful job stringing it out. Benny Blades, one of the toughest players in the NFL, comes up from his free safety spot to make the tackle.
I don't think that that's the kind of plays that the Dolphins have to run. I mean, they don't have the speed to challenge the corner. And when you talk about two safeties who can support, Benny Blades and Willie Clay get up as good as anybody. I think there's Coach Schilder. Now he's standing. He's got his little, there he goes, back down in his little cart.
Can't put any weight on the one leg because of the Achilles injury he suffered. Second and 11. They're swilling as they go to the screen. Spike nowhere to go. Spielman makes a big tackle, and the Lions saw that one all the way.
That's just a nice job of staying with your keys. You have a responsibility, you stay with it. Spielman's responsible for Spikes. See him just focus on him? He doesn't see anything but Spikes. When he moves, Chris moves. Now he's upfield just enough so that the offensive line can't get to him. Bert Widener couldn't get to him. Widener couldn't get to him, and he makes the play.
Spielman does an interesting thing. That's Broderick Thomas who was down. He's been a big help coming over from the Bucs. But Spielman was talking about how he mentally prepares for a game. He comes up with these very unpleasant thoughts, these scenarios that he develops in his mind to make the other team an enemy so he can really get psyched to go after them. And he says, it's not very pleasant, but it sure works.
No, one of the things he uses, he has a little daughter now. And he pictures those other guys as trying to take his daughter away. And that's what motivates him. He can't stand them. He wants to go get them. So he has all these little things. You're right, Mike.
But you ask him about playing against Marino, and he says, oh, that's one of the great things you love to do is play against somebody with talent like that. He's a competitor.
3rd and 12 from the Lions 48.
3rd and 12 from Miami as Hayworth, 99, checks in for Thomas. And Marino will go to the shotgun. Good protection again. Intended for Williams, who had the safeties beat. There is a flag down on the play. Illegal use of hands. That's probably one of those shots to the face against Detroit.
And that's the thing that's plagued Wayne Fonts. Now they have the right kind of a defense, and all of a sudden they wind up
illegal use of hands. Number 94, defense. Jam to the face. 5 yards, automatic first down.
Helvin Pritchett.
Number 94, the left part of your screen. There's the shot in the face.
Tough to tell from that angle. And then Marino gets his uniform dirty for the first time tonight. But that's a big first down for Miami. They have it to Detroit 43, leading 7-3 in this game. Marino over the middle, complete near the 40-yard line. Michael Johnson makes the tackle on McDuffie.
Mike, when I talked to Herb Patera, the defensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, he said they want to make Marino work his way down the field. They don't think that he can be patient enough not to try and take shots. They're going to try and play a zone. They're going to be content to give him the short completions, but they just don't want to give up the big play.
Second and 6. Marino underneath to Parmalee. And Parmalee diving to the 34-yard line. This kind of offense takes you back to the injuries of Keith Byers and Terry Kirby. Dan Marino said this may have been his best shot at the Super Bowl because he liked those players so much. Great receivers, excellent blockers, and they could run the ball for him.
They all do it well.
And when those two guys hurt, he said that cost him 130 catches.
We were talking about Mike Pat Swilling earlier, what he does. He's been rushing the passer. Now watch him go back into coverage. Not necessarily a strength of his, and he sort of loses everybody. Now he reacts. Does a good job in space, though, on Parmalee. Pat Swilling was always known as the guy who could come around the corner, the guy who could sack the quarterback. He's become a more complete linebacker now.
Third and inches.
Now, if you're the Miami Dolphins, you're going to run the football behind Richmond Webb and Keith Sims because Don Shula needs his team to believe that they can do it.
And the Dolphins have done a great job keeping the ball out of Barry Sanders' hands. Lions have had it only 3-14 in the quarter. They'll run right. Parmalee stuck in the hole. And I don't think he got it, but there's a flag down on the play. So they ran away from the strength of their offensive line. And Parmalee got tagged for his trouble.
They tried to go in a quick count, Mike, and I think the offense might have jumped a little bit.
Ball starts before the snap. 73 offense. 5 yards. Still third down.
The veteran right tackle Ron Heller.
Now they don't have to worry about third and short.
That's right. It's Marino's down again. Marino completing nearly 62% of his passes this year. 9 out of 12 tonight. He's hit 5 straight. They come on the blitz. Marino hangs in the pocket and throws to Jackson. Caught the ball and then came back and may have lost the first down. His feet went out from under. There was a comeback pattern anyway. Then he slipped and may be short.
It's a great job by Dan Marino just staying in the pocket with a free runner coming at him. Watch the left part of your screen. You're going to see a flash go by him. He still manages to get the ball down. Keith Jackson is trying to make a play. He realizes that it's man-to-man coverage. If he gets away, he's got a really big game, so he's trying to make the big play.
Fourth down. What do you do here, Coach?
You got to go. You're in the playoffs, and I think that's it, Don. I think you have to go. I think your team needs to make this fourth down. They need some confidence in short yardage runs.
Marino looking to the sideline. His counterpart Spielman on the other side. Spindler, the best run stop, the middle guard. Second in the NFL on 4th and short. Parmalee bangs forward. Spielman went low, he went lower.
James Saxton, number 22, led the way into the hole. James Saxton, number 22, the fullback. 5'11", 240. He gets Chris Spielman, and he wins. Matter of fact, he's got himself a pancake.
The end of the first quarter where the Dolphins are dominating the Detroit Lions and lead 7-3.
You know, an apple sitting around too long, it goes bad. It's the same thing with a new battery. It loses power waiting to be bought. That's why at Interstate, we're constantly checking our batteries to make sure they're fresh, so that you don't end up with a bad apple.
Corbel, for people who know champagne.
Here's a tip that's got more ridginess. New Pringles Ridges, it's more crunchy. If crunch is one you can't resist, a Pringles Ridge is more crunch than this. Crunchy. The golden tasty crunch is this, not this bag chips greasy mess. Crunchy. The Pringles Ridges, it's more crunchy.
More crunchy.
Once you pop Ridges, you can't stop.
Only those with superhuman ability may enter my court. I got next.
Barry Sanders' watch hasn't amounted to much so far. 3 carries in 3 possessions. What's going on?
Well, what's interesting, in the 3 possessions, they've come out twice throwing the football. I think what's happening is David Craig is recognizing the defense, and they figure, heck, we may as well use Barry as a decoy. Let's use him out of the backfield. Let's see if we can get him isolated one-on-one. I think they're going to have to abandon that as the game goes on and go back to giving him the football.
It's going to be tough to get to 169 on 3 carries a quarter. Miami with the first and 10. Spike checks in as the running back. And he'll get the ball. One down as he reaches the 27-yard line. Spike's the undrafted free agent out of northeastern Louisiana.
Mike, if the Dolphins can establish a run consistently, and it looks like this offensive line now is starting to gain a little confidence in what they want to do, that's going to put a lot more pressure on the defensive backs of the Detroit Lions. Watch the offensive line come off the ball. Everybody's locked up, and they're creating seams. So when Spikes is getting tackled, he's about 3 yards downfield anyway.
391, 391.
Spikes again. Flag is down. If he reaches the 20, it would be a first down. Now we'll check the penalty. Benny Blades made the stop. And it will come back. Really, these teams are such a contrast because Marino with the great pass, you play the pass and give him the run. With Sanders, you play the run and give him the pass.
Holding, offensive center. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Jeff Dellenbach, that's the second holding call against the Dolphins.
Let me tell you something else, too, Mike. It's a contrast in offensive lines because the Lions' offensive line is used to run blocking for Barry Sanders. Consequently, the Dolphin offensive line has to predominantly block for passing for Dan Marino, so they're not as adept at holding blocks a little bit longer.
2nd and 15. This drive has consumed nearly 7.5 minutes. Marino with time. That may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage, and Parmalee couldn't get it. Spielman in coverage.
That's exactly the matchup that Dan Marino was telling me about on Friday. If I get a matchup with Chris Spielman on Parmalee, I'm going to try and get him the ball. He's got the whole center of the field. It's Spielman and Parmalee, but the defensive line does just enough. Broderick Thomas just manages to get up. Now, he knocked down 2 last week, and this caused the ball to go low and away from Parmalee.
The Lions said Thomas is their biggest plus in free agency. He's done a great job for them. 3rd and 15. Marino able to step up again. Braver got to the 22-yard line short of a first down. Spielman made another tackle along with Robert Massey, but it will set Stoyanovich up in pretty good field goal position if they go for it.
They are going to decide to kick it, and I think Coach Shule is making the right decision here. It's one thing to have inches. It's another thing to have a yard. You want to put points on the board or have a shot at it when you're down this close.
Stoyanovich, although this is not a vintage season for him, 3rd all-time in accuracy in the NFL. Trails only Nick Lowry and Steve Christie in that department. This would come from 39. And Stoyanovich, who turned down more money to stay in Miami, comes through with a field goal. The Dolphins extend their lead back to a touchdown.
You jerk. I never want to see you again. Oh!
Savan, soft 100% cotton pants. They're the only pants made with Process 2000, so they don't wrinkle, which means you'll always come off looking good, no matter what you've done.
It's 10:15 in the Amazon, and a butterfly flaps its wings, which spreads pollen and causes a caribou to sneeze, igniting a massive stampede that adds wind to a mounting storm, which alters the global pattern of weather and creates a downpour that knocks out the electricity, so you couldn't blow dry your hair. With all that can go wrong in your day, isn't it nice to know you can rely on your Honda Civic?
Power Rangers, massive quantities of power coins are coming to Earth.
What?
Where?
McDonald's. Now kids can get a Power Rangers power coin free when you buy something to eat. 13 coins in all. Or if they're really lucky, they might get an instant win coin and win cool prizes, like a chance to meet the real Power Rangers. But hurry, they're moving fast.
What you want is what you get.
I've got Lord Zed. And the Blue Ranger? And the Pink Ranger?
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. By American Honda, who has been making quality automobiles in America for the past 12 years. And by Savan, 100% cotton, no wrinkle clothing.
10-3 Miami, 12:56 to go, first half of play from Joe Robbie Stadium. Stoyanovich to kick away to Mel Gray. Leading the NFL in kickoff return average, 28.8. He has run 3 back for touchdowns this year. Gray from the 8. Has the seam up the middle and takes it to the 37. Ball came loose, but it looked like he was down, and he was. Tyrone Braxton made the tackle after a return of 28. Hope you join us Saturday, 11:30 Eastern in the morning. It's the wild card edition of Game Day. Chris Berman, Joe Theisen, Tom Jackson, Chris Mortensen, and Phil Simms will preview all the wild card games. And at 7:30 prime time, all the highlights and analysis of the games. Then on Sunday, back to noon Eastern for Game Day. They'll preview the remaining 2 wild card games and prime time at 7:30. See what the Lions do on first down this possession. Sanders touched it back. Oh, he had a huge opening, and Dwight Hollier may have saved the day, got him around the ankle. They had cleaned out the left side of the defense.
Well, Mike, basically, Tom Olivadotti has told his team, listen, you don't have to make the picture-perfect tackles. Just get them on the ground. That's exactly what Hollier does. What's the right part of your screen? Barry stretches it out. Now, Dwight Hollier just manages to get one foot then the other.
There was nobody left on the other side of the line. Sanders cuts it outside. Vincent came up from the corner and he's gang tackle. Great defense by the Miami Dolphins.
When Barry Sanders is the running back, you have to commit people to the line of scrimmage. Look at the people in that box. There's only 2 other guys. They've got 9 people at the line of scrimmage. If they're going to line up 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and 2 defensive backs, David Craig is going to have to get out of it.
3rd and 10 as Sanders has been stopped cold on 2 straight carries. Comes the blitz from Cox, and he got the cut. Brian Cox with only his 3rd sack of the year. When he played outside linebacker, he had a lot of them.
Yeah, but when it's 3rd and 10, Mike, and you shut down Barry Sanders, there's Big Brian. That's the big circle. Here he comes. Sean Bowens tries to block him, tries to hold him. Can't do either. Boy, the move to the middle by the Dolphins with him was a big, big plus to their defense.
Montgomery to kick to McDuffie. McDuffie signaling fair catch and dives for it at the 40. Very dangerous play, but he makes the catch after a punt of 32. And Brian Cox, along with Bowens, tough on D.
Please direct your attention to the coin toss.
Gentlemen, this is heads, this is tails. Captain, call it in the air.
To commemorate its 75th anniversary, the National Football League commissioned Balfour, maker of Super Bowl championship rings, to create the official game coin for each NFL team to be used during the opening toss of every game this season. And for a limited time, you can purchase one for just $59.95. Only 7,500 coins will be pressed for each team, and each coin is individually numbered with a signed certificate of authenticity. Each coin is minted with 1 troy ounce of fine silver and overlaid in pure 24-karat gold. Order now and receive this plush display case absolutely free. Your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. Be a part of the action with your very own NFL flip coin.
Teams are selling out fast, so have your credit card ready and call 1-800-351-1200. Express delivery is available, but supplies are limited, so call 1-800-351-1200. Sorry, no CODs. Call now.
Check this out.
Basketball fans, now you can subscribe to NBA Inside Stuff magazine and get 6 action-packed issues plus the NBA Rising Stars video, both for just $19.95. NBA Inside Stuff is jam-packed with stories, highlights, and special offers you just can't find anywhere else. And if you call right now, you'll also receive the NBA Rising Stars video. That's 6 issues of NBA Inside Stuff and the Rising Stars video, both for just $19.95. Now that's the Inside Stuff.
Probably about 10 years old. Got 2 jerseys. One was a Fran Tarkenton jersey, replica jersey like they have today, and I had a Bart Starr jersey. I remember wearing them probably every day for a year till the next Christmas.
And now kids are wearing the Dan Marino replica jersey. They're all over the place, not only here at Joe Robbie, but all over the country. Yes, sir. And they all want to be quarterbacks, Joe.
They're not stupid kids, Mike.
Marino takes over just outside the 40. The Dolphins have had great field position in this game. Play action. Sacked in the flat. Nice play by Blades. Got some help from Johnson.
See, that's what even a little bit of a running game can do for the Dolphins. It allows you to get the fullback into the flat. It means Dan doesn't have to hold the ball long, and it incorporates other people into your passing game.
9 total yards for the Lions. 9. Count them. Berry has 11. They've lost yards on the sack. Parmalee. Out. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Spielman, who came into this game with 183 tackles. He's had over 100 every year, and that's a new club record. He broke his own.
Chris Spielman just fills the middle. When the center blocks away, he just fills the hole. There wasn't supposed to be anybody there. I'll guarantee you that's what Bernie Parmalee's going to say.
Well, there was 247 pounds of linebacker there. 3rd and 5. Craver checks in. Good receiver out of the backfield. Lions show blitz. May have jumped. There's a flag down. Free play from Marino. There's Craver. Johnson pushed him out of bounds. It will be a first down for Miami.
You know, Mike, I think it's such an advantage for Dan Marino to get the hard count because he's stationary in the pocket.
Offside, defensive right end. Penalty declined, first down.
See, if you had a scrambling quarterback, the defensive line couldn't tee off as much. But they know Dan Marino's going to be there, so he can use the hard count. Watch his head. See him move his shoulders? That's an excellent job of not getting called a penalty yourself, but using your voice inflection to get the defense to jump off.
So first down for Marino at the Lions 45. Parmalee back in with 9:06 to go in the half. Marino throwing short again to Craver. Craver getting down to the 40 before he was pushed back by Johnson. The Dolphins are dominating this football game. The Lions have done nothing on offense. And while Miami is facing this bend-don't-break defense, they're just pushing him down the field.
And I'm impressed with Dan Marino's patience. I just don't believe that he's going to stay patient very long. I think he's going to try and take a shot soon. It's not in his nature to nickel and dime anywhere.
But he does have a 10-3 lead. In a game both teams need to win to be home for the playoffs. Here comes another blitz. They pick it up. Nice throw to Parmalee. He saw that Willie Clay had his back turned and threw it right over his shoulder.
I got to tell you, quite often you get a good play on both sides of the ball. This is a good football play all the way around. Here comes the blitz. They've got 9 guys coming. Marino reads it. That's the first thing. He puts the ball where it belongs. That's the second thing. Parmalee catches it, but Willie Clay is right there to make the play. So you just got a good football play on both sides of the ball.
3rd and 3. And the Dolphins have a timeout with 7:44 to go in the half. They'll face 3rd and 3 when we come back.
Here in Ohio, we tested the new Honda Accord V6 and discovered that the car more people buy than any other is now better and quicker than ever before. Now, why would you want a car that lets you get away so fast?
You're late.
You got your reasons. The new Accord V6 from Honda.
You jerk. I never want to see you again. Oh!
Savan, soft 100% cotton pants. They're the only pants made with Process 2000, so they don't wrinkle, which means you'll always come off looking good, no matter what you've done.
What is thy bidding, my master?
There is a great disturbance in the force. Get his battery.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
Still going. Long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going and going.
70,000 entered, but only one became a living legend. Michael Joyce, winner of ESPN's Football Legends Sweepstakes.
Thanks, ESPN.
ESPN, where legends are made. This sweepstakes is sponsored by Savan, no wrinkle cotton clothing.
10-3 Dolphins, mid-second quarter, and high above Joe Robbie, the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, now in their 4th decade of live television coverage.
A lot of people think Santa Claus used that to deliver presents.
Do they?
Yesterday. I did.
3rd and 3. Inside handoff to Craver behind Sims. Breaks the tackle. Boy, they crossed him up out of his shotgun. Good hard run by Craver, who's only carried the ball 4 times all year.
Great call by Gary Stevens, the offensive coordinator. You figure Marino's going to throw on 3rd and 3, but he doesn't. They just let him turn the corner. Look at this hard running. Just runs over Clay. Somebody else takes a shot at him, can't get to him. Watch him dip his shoulder. Look at him. See, Craver delivers the blow, not Clay. That's the key if you're a running back. You want to deliver the blow.
And Willie Clay is a tough safety. Marino has sacked him in the flat. Dives short of a 1st down. But they'll pick up 9.
Well, look at it this way, Mike. The Lions have reached a point on the field where they can't play zone too much further back or they'll be out of the end zone. So Gary Stevens has done a great job just dictating where he wants Dan to go. He's given him underneath passes to go to. Herb Patera, I think, is going to have to commit more people to Marino and make him get rid of the football sooner. You know, this bend don't break stuff works till they really start beating you to death.
If you're bending, you're going to give up 17 points here in a second, and your offense can't get on the field. Parmalee. Big hole up the middle. Bernie Parmalee to the goal line. Well, Miami is hitting on all cylinders on offense so far tonight.
Pete Sims, number 69, the left guard, is going to put a block on Chris Spielman. There's Spielman. Watch this. Look at that job. Spielman still has no idea where Parmalee is.
Whoa, what a hard run by Parmalee. Three tight ends. Parmalee. Not this time. Johnson got in there in a hurry.
Mike, I pounded again, and I pounded again, and I pounded on fourth down. The Dolphins need to do this. They're not going to go very far if they have to rely on Dan Marino throwing the football from 1 yard out. This is all pure guts. You either got it or you don't. And the Lions just rose to the occasion one time. Can Spielman and his group do it again? That's going to be the question.
He is especially wicked, and Johnson just showed you he is too on short yardage situations.
What they do is they play back from the line so that when the quarterback moves back towards the running backs, they start moving towards the line. So they're going forward to try and meet him.
And Marino takes another timeout. The Dolphins second in this half with 5:24 to go. Of course, Marino so often has thrown the ball in these situations and thrown it well for touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. But I understand the philosophical point you're making.
You know, it's got to be there mentally. But still, Dan Marino's arm is what's got him there. Look at his pass chart on this drive. Got two out here, one over here, one over here. Notice, nothing down the field. The Lions aren't going to give it to him, so Dan says, fine.
How did you react when teams played you this way?
Oh, I'll tell you, you love the big play, but the percentage of it being completed is not as great. I'll nickel and dime my way down the field until I get close enough where now I can dictate to you what coverage you want to play. So I would like this kind of a situation as a quarterback.
Marino needs 20 completions and 44 attempts to break his own record for season highs in both categories. Second and goal. They may have lost the foot on first down. Same formation. Parmalee behind Saxon. Parmalee. Touchdown.
You know, that touchdown makes Barry Sanders' presence a lot less awesome because now the Lions have got to try and put the ball in the air to make up this difference. They just can't run Barry. Spielman and Johnson, you see him come running? Now Spielman just gets caught behind his own guy. He doesn't quite get in the hole.
Boy, and Saxon threw a tremendous block on Johnson. And what a tremendous boost for the running game, the offensive line, and the backs on two goal line situations. They look playoff ready, don't they?
Now they do.
Stoyanovich to the point after. And the Miami Dolphins expand their lead to 17-3.
I still enjoy going to work in the morning.
Nothing like that feeling.
It's worth everything. Owning my own business.
That's real business. I enjoy it. I feel strong.
It's a great feeling.
When it's your business, you put your heart and soul into every decision.
I basically dictate my fate.
Confidence, flexibility that you have.
So consider this one. The corporate card from American Express.
To me, that's a sign of success.
The card that helps you manage smarter.
Call now and we'll take your application right over the phone.
Now, small businesses save 3% on mobile gasoline.
That's a plus.
And get discounts on car rentals, hotels, and UPS overnight shipping. Accident disability insurance at no extra cost. And detailed monthly and quarterly reports to maintain control.
The rewards are wonderful.
See how the corporate card gives you what it gives over 1 million small businesses. The freedom to do what you do best.
It's easy to apply for the corporate card.
Call 1-800-533-AMEX.
The best card to have.
You'll soon remember why you started your own business in the first place.
You obviously have to love what you're doing.
ESPN and IntelliPlay bring you world-class athletes that teach you the techniques that put them at the top of their game. The PGA's all-time money winner, Tom Kite, and sports psychologist Dr. Bob Rotella help you shave points off your score. World Cup and national team members John Harkes, Mia Hamm, and Tony Meola reveal to you the skills and strategies that have brought them international success. The comprehensive interactive series includes multi-disc, multi-layered programs at $59.95 per program. To order, call toll-free and use your credit card, or send check or money order to the address on your screen.
Dolphins over the Lions 17-3. Let's check in with Mark Malone. Mark, what do you have?
Mike, I talked to Kevin Glover, and he told me their offensive line calls are based on him choosing his guy and then putting the rest of the guys in position to block the respective people. Well, Miami's showing them a lot of different fronts. It seems to be causing them confusion. Take a look at this video. Glover points out there, then again points out on the sack, calls Bowens down, the guard, knowing that Cox is going to run the twist. Bowens gets the call late, the sack right there. And then again, he's often called on to block two guys, comes off the nose and tries to get Cox and misses him. Cox goes on to make the tackle. Mike?
All right, Mark, and it has not been a very good offensive show for the Detroit Lions. Johnny Morton is back to receive the kick. Mel Gray came in with a knee injury, apparently hurting a little bit. And Morton tripped up as he got past the 15-yard line. Let's go back to Mark.
Thanks, Mike. So far, Detroit has snapped the ball 12 times. They've only run it 5 times, passing 7. Sanders, 11 yards on 5 carries, his longest run 5 yards. Now, Glover has blocked 2 players twice, but I don't understand why they're not running Barry Sanders more on early downs and trying to establish him. If they don't start doing that, he has no shot at 2,000 yards. Mike?
Absolutely.
Mike, I think there comes a point in this game where the game gets out of hand and you make it an individual opportunity for Barry Sanders. It's not there yet.
Sanders 7 yards deep. Going 8-man front. Sanders cuts it back. Got out to the 20-yard line. Marco Coleman was in on the tackle. And now we've got some angry football players.
Underneath on the tackle is 51, Brian Cox.
Well, you had to guess Brian Cox was somewhere in the middle of it, although I don't think he didn't start involved in that one.
But he will come to the defense of his teammates. 2nd and 7 after the gain of 3 for Sanders. Lynch in as a blocking back. They show blitz. Here they come. Sanders cuts it outside. J.B. Brown takes him out of bounds.
Now there was a case where the Lions got the corner blocked, and Barry only needs a second to make the turn. We were talking about the job that Richmond Webb does for the Miami Dolphins. Lomas Brown, number 75, does a good job on Marco Coleman. All he has to do is tie him up for a short time, and Barry's gone.
3rd and a yard. Sanders comes out as he often does on short yardage situations. And now Dave Craig wants to go to the sideline and talk about it. 17 yards in the first half for the Detroit Lions. No first downs, and the Dolphins have had the ball nearly 75% of the time.
Yeah, you just aren't going to win football games if you don't have the football. I think Wayne Fontes is in a situation where on 1st and 10, the game is not drastic yet. I still think you pound away. If you can put a drive together and get a touchdown, you go in at halftime 17-10, you're not in bad shape. But I think it's imperative they get something out of this drive.
The injury report on Mel Gray. He has aggravated that knee injury, may not come back tonight. He's been banged up an awful lot this year.
I think that's a smart move. You know you're going to play somewhere next week. Sit him down. Wayne Fontes has watched his ball club in earlier drives drop 3 passes, and they just haven't had that many opportunities.
Halleck and Holman will come in as tight end. Scott Conover is an eligible receiver, number 76. He's a tackle on 3rd and 1. Lynch hitting the hole by Cox, shook that tackle. Still may not have gotten the first down. Excuse me, that's Moore. And he was drilled.
Brian Cox puts one of those disorienting hits on you. This is one where you say, where am I? Where am I? Watch number 51. He just fires. In the hole. He puts the hit on. Now all of a sudden, Derek Moore gets a lot of help from friends. Look at him hit the hole. Hits the shoulder, spins him around,
Dwight Hoyer comes over, puts them away. And where the chains were on the sideline, this may not even be close.
You see Derek Moore pleading his case. That's why he was pleading his case.
The Lions still trying to get their first down of the ball game, and we have 3:57 to go in the half. And a hand for the Miami defense. The guy who played a little defense in his career, Joe Green, the line coach. McDuffie will go deep for Montgomery's punt. It has been all Miami. The only Lions score came as the result of a field goal. They couldn't move the ball after getting a turnover.
Watch the hold, don't hold.
Nice punt by Montgomery. McDuffie makes the late fair catch signal. And no flag, as the official says whoever hit McDuffie was pushed into him. A punt of 46 yards. If you've just joined us on this Christmas night, here's the scoring summary for you. Parmalee got a tough 1-yard touchdown run to open up a 7-0 Dolphins lead. And after a turnover, Hansen got a field goal to make it 7-3, but Stoyanovich countered from 40. And Parmalee another 1-yard touchdown run to make it 17-3. The Lions do not have a first down in the first half. Spikes is the running back. Little stutter step, gets outside, shakes the tackle. Now Johnson catches up with him along with Kelvin Pritchett, number 94. I think it was Chris Berman's line. He said, if your running backs are named Irving and Bernie, you're in trouble. But these guys have done a lot better job.
You're certainly not in trouble the way they've run tonight. Bernie Parmalee, in particular, down around the goal line, has just made up his mind that he's going to hit a hole and find it. Irving Spikes has done a nice job spelling him.
Combined as tailbacks, they have over 1,100 yards rushing this year. Marino is just on fire, 16 out of 20, 142 yards. Goes deep this time for Fryer. Split between McNeil and Colin. And Marino laid it right there.
Mike, you just know that Dan Marino is not going to be patient all night. He's going to try and force the ball down the field, but you can't do it without protection. Richmond Webb, number 78, on Pat Swilling. And there's Irving Fryer on McNeil. He just gets inside. Now, this ball hangs. He's got McNeil beat so far. McNeil's trying to run to catch up to him and can't get there.
180 yards passing for Marino. Wants to go to the air again. Has Saxon. Got by Johnson down to the 21-yard line. We have reached the 2-minute warning. Dan Marino and the Dolphins in control. Barry Sanders hasn't had a chance.
You played all day. You gotta have music. Great music. That's what keeps us rolling. We used to blow through a lot of batteries and a lot of bucks. Until we got Rayovac Renewal. Alkaline batteries you can reuse and reuse and reuse.
It's like 25 times.
But not like old-fashioned rechargeables. Renewals are alkaline. So, the charges last longer. And the money we save, we blow on music. Rayovac Renewal. Reusable alkaline batteries. Smart move.
It's 1954 at the University of Milan, and a young man gets a C in mathematics, which causes him to lose his scholarship and take up sidewalk drawing, which spawns a worldwide movement in art that inspires a burgeoning painter, which leads to the opening at the museum that caused the traffic jam that's making you late for work. With all that can go wrong in your day, isn't it nice to know you can depend on your Honda Civic?
You a sports fan? Then you know what this is. All the games you're missing. How'd the Chiefs pull ahead? How'd Seattle blow out the Nuggets? Well, with DirecTV, you see the action, not just the scores. NFL, NBA, college, hundreds of games you probably couldn't get before. Games only on in other cities. Hey, you want numbers? Get a newspaper. You want sports? Get DirecTV. For your DSS 18-inch dish and DirecTV, see your RCA dealer.
Coming up at halftime in a 17-3 game, the NFL Plays of the Year with Chris Berman. Will Dick Vermeil go to the Philadelphia Eagles? That's what we're reporting. No official announcement yet. And Pam Oliver with the news of the day from Minnesota. The Vikings need to beat the 49ers to win the NFC Central.
And not necessarily the easiest task one might have.
No.
Of course, Coach Shule has been sitting on his cart, and now he's standing up, watching his little scooter. There he is, leaning on the scooter. Seen his football team play flawless football except for one little fumble in the first half.
2nd and a yard. And Marino wants to throw for it. Hit, and that's a lateral. Parmalee picks it up, no whistle. Parmalee, 15, 10, 5. That was a lateral, folks. Pat Swilling was in on Marino. And Dan got away with one there.
Well, you know, he just really throws the ball behind. What a great heads-up play by Parmalee. I mean, he realizes that he's behind Dan, so he just takes off running with it. Now they're going to go hurry-up offense.
1st and goal from the 5. Parmalee. This is the emotional boost this team needs.
They're doing everything right. Mentally, they are so into it. Bernie Parmalee picks the ball up after it looks like it's a ridiculous kind of play, winds up with a big first down. Then Dan Marino looks and sees the Lions arguing with the official, so he runs to the line of scrimmage to get his team set up while the Lions are trying to get there. Unbelievable.
Stoyanovich for the point after. And the Dolphins are stuffing the Lions' Christmas stocking with buckets of coal. It's 24-3.
The Lions do a good job putting pressure on Dan Marino on this play. They get some good pressure. Now there he is. Now Swilling's got him, but he's not on the ground. He just throws it behind, and Parmalee picks it up. Everybody else had stopped but Bernie Parmalee. Now all of a sudden Marino rushes to the line, and he knows the Lions are disoriented. Bernie Parmalee in for the score.
Parmalee's 3rd rushing touchdown of the half. And with 1:15 to go in the half, the Dolphins on top, 24-3. Parmalee had 3 rushing touchdowns all year until tonight. He's got 3 in the first half. 13 carries, 45 yards. Barry Sanders simply hasn't been able to get his hands on the football. Only touched it 7 times rushing for 20, and Marino has just been shredding the Lion defense.
You know, Mike, I talked to Herb Patera earlier today, and he said when you get a great running back and you get a great quarterback on the field at the same time, if the quarterback is hot, he's got the edge. That's exactly what Dan Marino is. He is hot.
He is hot. Johnny Morton deep to receive the kickoff, and Herb Patera may have to give up on the bend don't break, because not only is it bending, it's broken.
Then you really open yourself up to some big plays.
How many more do they need? Morton waiting for the kick. From the 7. Has a big seam. Stoyanovich, the last man back. Morton got by him. Touchdown. Mel Gray cheering on Johnny Morton with the kickoff return. Gray has done it 6 times in his brilliant career. And Morton goes for 93. What a huge lift for the Lions. They get a touchdown on the kickoff return.
They needed it. They have had great plays. The defense created a turnover. The special teams has given them a play now. It's up to the offense the second half to come back. Johnny Morton, he's going to be special. I mean, this is a guy who all he does is make plays. Last week, he makes a tough touchdown reception. Now he returns one back for a touchdown.
Hansen for the point after. And it's 24-10, and the Dolphins 3 weeks in a row have given up a kick return for a touchdown.
I said before, in Mike Westhoff's entire career as a special teams coach, he'd never had anybody return a kickoff for a touchdown up until 3 weeks ago. He's had 2 in the last 3 weeks. Watch Johnny Morton. This is from our goalpost cam. You just follow him up to the sidelines. He does an excellent job of following his blocker. But watch what Derek Moore does, number 31. He is just working Stoyanovich over, and he allows Johnny Morton to stay down the sideline. That was a big key. Keep an eye. You see the ball, but keep an eye on number 31. Watch number 31 get out in front. There's Johnny. There's 31. There's Derek Moore. He hits Stoyanovich once, but he doesn't go down. He hits him again. And Morton just keeps on running.
The Lions have scored 10 points in this game. They do not have a first down.
I know.
With a field goal after a turnover and a kickoff return.
That gets a little scary when you're the defensive coach who's done a great job, Tom Olivedani. He's got to be sitting there saying, geez, we're doing our job. I mean, sooner or later, you got to start looking at other units.
"16 times this year, a kick has been returned for a touchdown, directly attributed to the rule changes, the lower tee, and moving the ball back to the 30-yard line.
And what's interesting, Mike, is the starting position on kickoffs was only about a 5-yard differential. So they accomplished it a little bit by moving the ball further up the field for the offenses, but the people that benefited so much are the kick return guys.
Now the Dolphins will get the ball back with 1:01 to go in the half. Spikes and McDuffie wait inside the 5. And this crowd, which has been in such a festive holiday mood, quieted a little bit.
You know, we talk about the individual players on the special teams, but Steve Kazor, the special teams coach of the Detroit Lions, deserves an awful lot of credit for drawing these things up.
Flag is down. The Lions were offside on the kickoff. Spikes will go down at the 34-yard line. Hansen may have lost his balance or slightly hesitated. It looked like the entire left side was offside.
I would not accept this penalty because right now I have 55 seconds on the clock. If I'm Coach Shula, Coach Fonts would love him to so he could run some more time down.
Kicking team, friendly decline, first down.
Good move. Give Dan Marino the football with as much time as you can on the clock.
Absolutely.
Coach Shula going to the bigger cart now. He's going to be off his feet for about 6 weeks, of course. Still patrolling the sidelines.
Now he has to stay back a certain distance so that nobody runs into that cart. But he gets a clear view because people get out of his way. Marino just bouncing in the pocket, can't find anybody. Now McDuffie thought about lateraling it to Fryer, gets out to the 43.
Dolphins trying to run the old hook and ladder.
And Miami will use a timeout to stop it with 44 seconds to go.
Remember the old hook and ladder they used a long time ago? Here's a look-see. There's the 22. Watch what happens down here. You're going to get somebody to hook. Somebody's going to hang around. He's supposed to pitch it back so that they can go down the sidelines. There's the hook. Now he starts to come back. See how he starts to come back? Pitch it to me. Pitch it to me. Ah, can't do it. Couldn't quite make the play.
Dave Craig has not thrown a pass in this game since there was 6:50 to go in the first quarter. That's because the Lions offense hasn't had the football. Remarkable. 2nd and 2 for Marino, has plenty of time. The Dolphins have 1 timeout left.
Dave's got his family, the Craigs, and the other part of his family, his in-laws, they're all watching, but he's not working on Christmas.
Four-man rush. Marino with time for Fryer and knocked away. Blades was waiting for him. McNeil had the coverage.
Pass intended for Rudy Fryer. Broken up by 47, Ryan McNeil. 3rd and 2.
I think what you have to do in this instance, Mike, you got 1 timeout left. You come out, you try and hit one of your backs out of the backfield. Pick up the first down, come up, spike the ball real quick. Save the timeout. Get yourself into a position where you can use it down inside the 20 if you want to take some shots into the end zone.
Marino 19 out of 24, 197 yards in the first half.
He's got to be thinking, pick up the first down.
Lions jump. He'll get the first down on the penalty and then goes down. Well, that was a little scary looking. As Marino was twisted, he was hit by Antonio London. But the Lions obviously jumped. Let's see if they were drawn off. They were not, and that'll be a first down.
Offside, 97 defense, 5 yards, 1st and 10.
Scroggins was called, but he had company. So they need about 20 more yards.
You see when Dan Marino puts his hands over the ear holes, that's so he can hear on the sidelines. Gary Stevens talking to him. It gets loud down there, and Gary Stevens, talks to Bernie Kosar. Bernie Kosar then talks to Dan Marino.
And the Dolphins have had some trouble getting plays in recent weeks. Marino dumps it short to Craver. Craver to the 34-yard line. That would give Stojanovic a shot from there. Now they'll have to kill the clock. 13 seconds to go.
Aaron Craver could have helped Dan Marino out an awful lot on that play. He could have got himself to the sidelines. You get down around the 35-yard line, 5 yards is not going to matter. 10 seconds means an awful lot.
I think he thought he could break it. He saw the seam between the defenders.
You know, that's an instance, Mike, where you just can't take that chance.
Stojanovic, who, of course, has the great leg. It would be a 51-yard try from here, but Marino has a couple of shots left. They show blitz. May have jumped. The flag is down. McDuffie gets to the 28-yard line. They'll stop the clock with 6 seconds left. And now McDuffie and Milton Mack get into it.
Boy, Dan has got them on a string tonight with his hard count.
Now with only 6 seconds left, you don't think the Dolphins can afford to have one more play. They're going to have to bring on the field goal team.
Well, they learned a lesson in Indianapolis last week.
Didn't they?
Offside, 97 defense, penalty decline, 3rd down.
Well, they keep ticketing Tracy Scroggins. He appeared to be the only one that time. And now Stojanovic will come on. 1 for 1 from 40. This will be from 45. Now Marino is out on the field talking to Gordon McCarter, and McCarter waves him off. Get out of here. You're not on the field goal team.
Dan wanted one more play.
Stojanovic crushes one straight through. And offensively, the Dolphins have been nearly perfect in the first half. They've scored 27 points. And all Wayne Fonts can do is shake his head The only play he's had tonight was the kickoff return. And Barry Sanders needs 149. Remember, against Tampa Bay, he had 200 in the second half.
And they're only down by 17. And it's a better look in 17 than it was before the kickoff return.
Absolutely.
Because you got to figure your offense has done nothing. They hopefully should get something going.
But the Lions have not been able to throw the ball, even though the Dolphins have shown them 8- and 9-man fronts. And as long as they don't do that, they're still going to see 8- and 9-man fronts. I think we could safely call for a squib kick here, considering that Morton returned the last one 93 yards.
I'd be surprised if this one gets past the 30.
Two seconds to go in the half.
I think Mike Westhoff's got to feel a little bit more comfortable about this kickoff, Mike, because he knows it's not going anywhere. On either side, hopefully.
I don't know. I still think his heart's up in his throat. After the last 3 weeks, I don't think he wants to see a kickoff return. There's the squib. And out of bounds, but the clock is expired. That's the end of the first half with the score. Miami 27, Detroit 10. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Acura halftime report.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. A very Merry Christmas, certainly to Dolphins fans thus far tonight. We hope it's been a very Merry Christmas for all of you out there. Thanks for letting us into your homes on this very special evening. Will Dick Vermeil be going home for Christmas? Well, our Chris Mortensen is reporting, and Vermeil himself has confirmed that Vermeil met twice last week with the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles, Jeff Lurie. Lurie asked him would he be interested in either a single GM job or the dual GM coach's role with the Eagles. Vermeil has said that, yes, he would be interested in the dual job. Remember, Vermeil, 58 years old, 12 years ago, he left the Philadelphia Eagles claiming burnout. He was only 46 years old when he left the coach's job right then. Of course, Rich Kotite is still the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. He has 1 year to go on a contract. He meets with Lurie tomorrow or Tuesday, at which time it's expected to be a formality that Kotite will be let go. Vermeil and Lurie will not finalize any deal at all until Vermeil's commitments with ABC conclude over the weekend. He does a wild card game Saturday, the Sugar Bowl game on next 8 days from now, Monday night on January 2nd. Remember, Dick Vermeil has backed out very late of jobs before, so you don't know until it's official. But right now it looks like Dick Vermeil will be going home, if not for Christmas, will be going home next year. And remember, Vermeil, the only coach to lead the Eagles ever to the Super Bowl. Well, the 49ers are thinking Super Bowl. They play the Minnesota Vikings tomorrow night, their final tune-up before going to the playoffs. How much will Steve Young play tomorrow night? Probably about half the game, maybe early into the third quarter. But the question for the Vikings, who need the win to win the Central, will Warren Moon play at all? Let's get our update from the Metrodome and head out to Pam Oliver. Pam?
Well, Warren Moon is as big a question mark for Monday's game against the 49ers as he was when he went down against the Lions last week. And right now, it is not looking good. Warren has been able to throw a little bit in practice, but that is about it. His sprained left knee is still giving him trouble. It's sore. And as of now, nobody, including Moon, knows if he'll be able to play Monday night.
Well, I've been able to throw the ball, and I've been able to plant and throw it, but I haven't went through any of our full-speed workouts yet. So I've kind of been giving all the work to Sean, and if I can go, then I'll just go with very limited work this week.
I think that he has to be healthy. I feel as if he can help the team. If he feels as if he can't help the team, then he shouldn't play. So that decision is up to him, the doctor, and Denny.
Dennis Green says he'll make his decision based on Warren's decision, how he feels after pregame warm-ups. Meanwhile, Sean Salisbury has been taking most of the snaps in practice and will go if Moon can't. As for the game itself, the Vikings are already in the playoffs, but the division title is still up for grabs. We asked Henry Thomas if this is a good time to play the 49ers, you know, if they had a choice.
It's a good time for us to play anybody because we have to win the division. So whoever's up, you know, it's just their turn to play us. We don't care who it is.
The 49ers arrived in Minneapolis late Sunday. Both teams had closed practices. That's the story from here. Merry Christmas, everybody. Back to the studio.
All right, Pam, thank you. It looked like the Vikings were working out in moonlight. No pun intended. Will Joe Montana play next weekend when the Chiefs swing into playoff action? Well, it's very early to tell. He's questionable, but a slight contusion of his left knee. Of course, he left that game with the Raiders, but Joe said afterwards that if needed, he could have gone back into the Raiders game. So you don't expect Joe at 38 years old to miss a shot at the playoffs. And what a shot it will be if Miami continues to win. Marino and Montana, they didn't get that game a couple of weeks ago on Monday night. They may get it next week if Miami wins the game, and that would set up New England at Cleveland, Parcells against Belichick. If Miami loses, KC goes to New England, and Miami would be at Cleveland. That's the AFC playoff picture.
This halftime report is presented by Acura. Some things are worth the price.
When we return, the plays of the year, and it seems like just about all of them have happened in the ballpark we're looking at this evening, Joe Robbie Stadium. Plays of the year when we return at halftime. Dolphins up by 17.
This is the elegantly appointed front-wheel drive Acura Legend. And to connoisseurs of classic automotive art, this is the dinner bell that says, let the feast begin. The new 1995 Acura Luxury Lease, available exclusively at your Acura dealer.
We in the NFL are concerned about the quality of our country's educational system. I'm Steve Young of the San Francisco 49ers. The NFL and its players believe it is important that classroom teachers receive the recognition they deserve. That's why the NFL players nominate their favorite teacher, an individual who made a difference in their life, for the NFL Teacher of the Month Award. NFL players have written about teachers who were outstanding in their education. Keith Jackson of the Miami Dolphins wrote this about Beth Greenway. She helped me to be confident and secure in everything I did, not just what I was good at, whether it was playing football for my high school or reciting poetry. She urged me to always put my best foot forward. That's why NFL's Teacher of the Month for December is Beth Greenway. And Beth and her school will receive an NFL educational grant. NFL players are role models to young people, but teachers are role models too. We in the NFL are pleased to salute teachers everywhere through our Teacher of the Month Awards program.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
Welcome back to halftime. The Dolphins lead the Lions 27-10. Well, if yesterday's action was any reminder at all, it has been a season of big plays. NFCing is believing. Let's look back at the '94 regular season, shall we? We start with a team that's probably produced more big plays than anybody else. We're talking about the Lightning Bolts, the San Diego Chargers. And this one, the first one you see, it's very safe to say that it's a record that will not be broken.
Here is Humphries to throw. He's looking long, got a man open. Hit him, caught at the 40-yard line by the Chargers. Streaking is Tony Martin to the 20, to the 10. He scores!
Super Bowl 29 will be at Joe Robbie Stadium, the park we're looking at this evening. I tell you, the stadium's been upside down this year. There have been 10 years of highlights in this season alone. The Hoss and Art Shell. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Vince, it's your job. How about the Bears' single wing formation in a field goal attempt? Curtis Conway, normally wide receiver, your basic pass to Jerry Fontenot, which is tipped to teammate Keith Jennings for your routine 6-yard touchdown pass. Sunday night on ESPN 3 weeks ago, Don beep, 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 after it goes doink, doink, off for a pair of Dolphins. It got the Bills going. Andre Reed imitated Oscar Robertson with a long down-court pass to Billy Brooks. And then even when the Dolphins laid the lumber like this stick, and you know, Jourdain, Mike Dumas was there. What a night it was for the Buffalo Bills. But it wasn't all opponents. Marino to Keith Jackson and Ward Nelly. They about the hook and ladder to Irving Fryer. 2 weeks ago on Monday night, Gene Atkins to Troy Vincent. Excuse me, Mr. Referee. Excuse me, Kansas City Chiefs. We just could go all the way. A big reason why the Dolphins are steamrolling toward the Eastern Crown. As for prime time, lots more to his campaign than just a left to the face and a right to the jaw and a standing 8 count against Bad Moon.
Peddling goes George. And he throws. Intercepted. Is the inbound. Dion down the right side. Yes.
Forrest Gump will catch the bus before the Saints catch Deion Sanders.
He can high-step this one half the field. He waits to the 10, though, and walks into the end zone.
You want finishes? We got finishes. Week 15, Troy Aikman, Jay Novacek. But the Cowboys just inches short against the Browns to the chagrin of Barry Switzer. Week 16, Brett Favre. What a way to send off County Stadium. Favre just inches long against the Falcons. This is the reason the Pack is in the playoffs. Play of the year. Week 13, Dan Marino, the clock play. The Jets a half a minute out of first place. Instead, the Jets went to sleep, but Mark Ingram was wide awake. Game of the year, Week 7, Monday night at Mile High. John Elway touchdown, minute and a half to go. The Broncos lead the boom Chiefs. But Joe Montana to Willie Davis. He's done this countless times to prove again that he just ain't no ordinary Joe. The jaw dropper of the year, Week 8, Rams at Saints.
It'll be the Rams football at their own 20-yard line. And now, Robert Bailey bringing it back to... Johnny Bailey did not call for a fair catch, and Bailey's going all the way for the touchdown. But let's see what the officials say.
Yeah.
It is a touchdown. Oh, my goodness, I don't believe it.
Halftime, Miami 27, Detroit 10. Back with action in a moment.
Hey, Follies fans, pull up a chair and sit down, because you don't want to miss Sports Illustrated's fabulous Follies Fun Pack, featuring 2 amazing new videos, basketball's NBA Rewind, plus the NFL's 100 Greatest Follies, both free with your paid subscription to SI. In NBA Rewind, Ahmad is always near.
Working here.
NBA stars will do this, and also that. In the NFL's 100 Greatest Follies, you get the funniest of all time. So hang on to your shirt, because this could hurt. Call now, and Jolly Ball is what you'll see. It comes in your fun pack free. Get 54 issues of SI for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. Use your credit card. SI in your free fun pack make great gifts. Check a leg. Call now and get both fun pack videos free from SI. There is nothing in the world like Sports Illustrated. Get into it.
Crime is rampant in America. A car is stolen every 20 seconds. Police need your help. I'm Deputy Flack, and please, wherever you park your car, lock the club on the steering wheel to prevent your car from being stolen. The club is a tempered steel lock that's tough to defeat. Its high visibility deters thieves and makes them move to an easier target. The club is the best auto theft deterrent I've seen, and I recommend you use it. Accept no cheap imitations. Always ask for the club by name. And let's put auto thieves in their place.
NCAA basketball on ESPN. Every game counts.
This halftime report has been presented by Acura. Some things are worth the price.
Barry Sanders has been held under wraps in the first half. 7 carries, only 20 yards. It's been a night for Bernie Parmalee, though. 30 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Back with the second half.
Most people will never see the art you display, the antiques you collect, the things in your home you care about. Which leaves only one possession that reflects your sense of style to the world. Acura. Some things are worth the price.
For With the exception of 2 plays, it has been all Miami Dolphins, and they lead 27-10 over the Lions as we're ready to start the second half. The Lions have to feel fortunate still to be in this game the way they have played. For Don Shula, a win would keep his club at home for the first round of the playoffs. The same thing would go for the Detroit Lions. Johnny Morton, who already has returned one, 93 yards for a touchdown, is deep. From the 9. Not this time. Got back to the 20 and no further. Let's check in with Mark Malone.
Thanks, Mike. Looking back on the first half, we told you earlier in the show that Kevin Glover was asked to make a lot of key blocks, a lot of combination blocks where he has to block 2 people. That hasn't happened. The creases haven't been there. I want to show you what happens. Here, the right guard in the center is supposed to come up on Klingbeil the nose and then move to Cox. Well, Cox gets around and scrapes and makes the play. Here's a close-up look at it again. They can move Klingbeil. Cox makes the tackle, and another shot of it here. This time, Mullins does not get off. They put Klingbeil on his back, but they're not creating any creases at all for Barry Sanders. Mike?
All right, Mark, they'll certainly have to do a better job in the second half. They start with play action. Craig unloads and out of bounds. It was intended for Perriman. Atkins on the coverage. Back to Mark.
Yeah, Mike, 15 plays during the first half, which is unbelievable in 30 minutes of football. Sanders has touched the ball 7 times for only 20 yards. Here's the big stat, though. No key blocks by the offensive line. They've allowed 1 quarterback pressure, 1 sack, and 1 hit. This football team has got to get in gear up front. Mike?
All right, thanks, Mark. Just into the third quarter, 14:44 to go. Lions down by 17. They still have a chance to win the division. Dave Craig tonight, 1 out of 754 yards. He has been as hot as anybody since he has taken over as the starting quarterback. Pressure on him this time. Throws to the flat. Perriman has it near a first down at the 31.
Steps out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
Take a look at the halftime stats. -3 passing yards, 20 yards rushing, the time of possession, and the total plays. Total dominance for the Miami Dolphins. And the turnovers, 1, and that allowed the field goal for the Lions. No first downs in the first half for Detroit. They just got their first one of the game. Sanders, room to run. Now they close on him, and he's got about 4 out of bounds to the 35-yard line.
Well, that's a nice job by J.B. Brown, the right corner of the Dolphins. He doesn't allow himself to be blocked, and he doesn't lose sight of Barry Sanders, making him go outside and out of bounds.
You said at the beginning of the game they had to play fundamentally solid defense.
And they really did. Watch the right corner, number 37, J.B. Brown. Perriman's trying to block him, but see how he just doesn't give up position? He plays the block off and makes Barry come to him. Good job by J.B.
The thought of 2000 slipping away for Barry Sanders. Craig over the middle. Perriman couldn't hold it. Covered well by Frankie Smith, who was right there.
3rd and 6.
At the end of the season, Dave Craig will be entertaining offers. And he is in a position in the era of free agency where somebody, at least one team, is going to make him a huge offer.
Well, I think the
might be this one.
The Lions are in a little bit of a dilemma. I mean, they've paid Scott Mitchell a lot of money, but David Craig has certainly been productive.
He has the highest quarterback rating of anybody in the league right now. He just doesn't have enough tenths to qualify. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up, and Craig Matthews with a one-hand catch to the 44-yard line. Aubrey Matthews, nice grab.
And remember in the first half, in the first couple of series, hits Herman Moore in the hands, hits Barry Sanders in the hands, they put the ball on the ground.
Absolutely.
Matthews comes up now with a one-hander behind the back almost and makes a play for him. This is an area where David Craig likes to try and go up top. He runs those stop and goes as well as anybody.
He has more to the far side. Play action. Trying for Perriman into double coverage. Intercepted, but out of bounds. J.B. Brown. Well, nobody bought on that fake.
Yeah, but you know what's happened quite a bit for the Lions through the course of the year? Corners have tried to come up and make a play. There's the hesitation. That's the stop and go. What JB does is he never loses sight of Dave Craig. Therefore, he's not going to jump up and try and make a play. They want to keep Perriman underneath him. Now he makes a play on the ball. He just can't stay in bounds.
The highest paid defensive player on the team signed a contract extension this year. Second and 10. Craig rifles one over the middle. Has his tight end, Rodney Holman, the 13-year veteran who still holds all the Cincinnati tight end passing record.
David Craig is in a rhythm right now, and if you can't give the ball to Barry Sanders to run with it, just use him as a decoy. There's the play action fake. Look at the linebackers respect Barry. That allows Holman to go in the middle where Cox has vacated it.
First and 10 Lions, their first drive of the entire night. Sanders, nowhere to run. Cuts it outside. Got 5 yards out of nothing.
He makes...
I know. My thought exactly.
You put it so well, Mike. Nowhere to run. Oh, sorry, 5-yard gain. Watch him go up the middle. He's going into a closed door, folks. There is nobody there. But he finds a little side door and leaks outside. And that's something that Coach Olivadotti was concerned about. His ability to hit the corners and leak outside the pursuit.
Second and 6. Craig throws, and Holman couldn't get there. Atkins had an interception, but he was going for Holman, and the ball whistled right by him.
3rd and 6.
The Lion offense, Mike, is using Barry Sanders in play-action passes as a decoy, in pass routes as a decoy. And I think when you're down 17 points, it's a good move because they still have to pay him the respect.
Absolutely. 10th play of this drive. Craig under pressure throws to Sanders in the flat, and a great tackle that may have stopped him short of the first down.
I think if
Frankie Smith.
I think if you're Wayne Fonts, you have to go for it here on 4th down. It's 4th down at about 3/4 of a yard. I think you got to go for it. You're down 17. You got to make the play. Barry coming out of the backfield. Looks at the defense, just hangs out for David as a safety valve. Good tackle by Frankie Smith.
And the Lions will go on 4th and short. The Lions trying to run the play. Miami calls the timeout. So Craig will go to the sideline to talk it over with Wayne Fonson. We'll be back in a moment.
We asked some of the hottest guys in town to trade their deodorant for Degree deodorant.
I'll give it a shot.
As your body heat rises, only Degree releases extra protection against odor.
It does work. Better than many trades I've made.
Degree deodorant for a higher degree of protection.
Gather up your ideas. Run with them. Where do you want to go today?
Rauchen verboten.
不要抽烟。
Apagorevete, tocca pisma.
タバコを吸わないでください。
Vietato fumare.
Cigarettes is not.
On January 1st, in answer to our passengers' request,
Prohibido fumar.
Delta Airlines will become the first and only U.S. airline to fly totally smoke-free worldwide.
Still going. Long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Energizer Batteries. Still going. Long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going and going. By Delta Airlines. You'll love the way we fly. And by Microsoft. Where do you want to go today?
The most critical play of the game so far, the Lions, 4th and short at the Miami 30, down by 17 points.
This is not necessarily Barry Sanders' strength, Mike. He's a little guy.
Lynch checks into the backfield. Lynch will get the carry, tripped up. Klingbeil pushed his blocker back into the backfield. Sean Bowens actually tripped up Lynch. Great defense by Miami.
It's a question of who gets under who. If the offense gets underneath, they can move you. If they don't, watch number 99, right over the middle. Watch the push that he gets. Look at that. He just takes Sean Bowens back into Lynch. Look at how low he comes off. He gets underneath Sean Bowens and doesn't allow him to block him.
So Miami makes the defensive stand, courtesy of Chuck Klingbeil, and take over at the 30. Parmalee behind another good block by Saxon, lost the football.
On the play.
Lions have it.
Bernie Parmalee slides outside, makes a few people miss, and just gets the ball taken away.
Robert Porcher with the recovery.
Big play by the Detroit Lion defense. Parmalee with a little hesitation. Now he does a nice job of reading his block. Saxton again with the big block. Willie Clay comes up. Big play, Clay. Makes another one. He's got 3 interceptions. Strips Parmalee of the ball for the fumble.
Parmalee has scored 3 touchdowns, but he's given up twice on fumbles. The first one led to a field goal. Craig guns one, complete to Perriman at the 24. Taken out by J.B. Brown.
You know, Mike, Olivadotti, the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins, has got a pretty good situation. He's got 2 really good corners. He's got Vincent and Brown, and he can let them go man-to-man pretty much. And he can get Atkins and Stewart involved in taking care of Barry.
Sanders, 28 yards rushing tonight on 10 carries. He'll get it this time. Has the seam, cuts it to the outside, 10 to about the 7-yard line. The speed and quickness and vision of Barry Sanders, a gain of 16.
One of the few things that can bring him down is the slippery surface here. He's going to run to the left. Watch the move he puts on number 28, Gene Atkins. Now, Atkins is the safety coming up to make a play. He tries to break down, like Coach said. Give me a good fundamental breakdown, except Barry just runs away from him.
11 carries, 44 yards, came into the game needing 169 for 2,000. Craig, Ty Halleck in the flat, and he couldn't hold it. A bullet from Craig.
I'll tell you, Mike, if David Craig was not so close to that 40-second clock running out on him, he could have taken a little more time and had the receiver open in the end zone instead of having to rush it to Ty Halleck. But he didn't.
Dolphins defense goal to go 26th. Only the Redskins and the Rams are worse in this situation. Craig under pressure. Intercepted Dwight Hollier. Dwight Hollier back to the 35-yard line. Kevin Glover made the tackle, a 36-yard interception return.
Please direct your attention to the coin toss.
Gentlemen, this is heads, this is tails. Captain, call it in the air.
To commemorate its 75th anniversary, the National Football League commissioned Balfour, maker of Super Bowl championship rings, to create the official game coin for each NFL team to be used during the opening toss of every game this season. And for a limited time, you can purchase one for just $59.95. Only 7,500 coins will be pressed for each team, and each coin is individually numbered with a signed certificate of authenticity. Each coin is minted with 1 troy ounce of fine silver and overlaid in pure 24-karat gold. Order now and receive this plush display case absolutely free. Your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. Be a part of the action with your very own NFL flip coin.
Teams are selling out fast, so have your credit card ready and call 1-800-351-1200. Express delivery is available, but supplies are limited, so call 1-800-351-1200. Sorry, no CODs. Call now.
ESPN and IntelliPlay bring you world-class athletes that teach you the techniques that put them at the top of their game. The PGA's all-time money winner, Tom Kite, and sports psychologist Dr. Bob Rotella help you shave points off your score. World Cup and national team members John Harps, Mia Hamm, and Tony Meola reveal to you the skills and strategies that have brought them international success. The comprehensive interactive series includes multi-disc, multi-layered programs at $59.95 per program. To order, call toll-free and use your credit card, or send check or money order to the address on your screen.
27-10 Dolphins. Dave Craig, only his second interception of the season, and it's one he'd love to have back. Shouldn't have thrown it.
The Dolphins did an excellent job of defending this pass play. He wants to go left to 84, Herman Moore. Now all of a sudden Moore winds up in the middle of the field. He comes back, but Hollier just doesn't play David Craig's eyes. You see his eyes looking left? Looks left, looks left. Now he wants to look back. Now he just sees a flash of Herman Moore, and he doesn't see Hollier behind the pile.
Tried to throw it off one leg, sidearm. It had nothing on it. Parmalee on the toss. Cuts it back up the middle and takes a wicked hit as he got to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, you know, Mike, but that was very important, a very important play
for
Bernie Parmalee, because he's put the ball on the ground twice. If the Dolphins are going to go anywhere in the playoffs, he's got to hang on to the football. And to give it back to him and let him take a good pop is a good thing for him and a good thing for the Dolphin offense.
Well, I'm sure Bernie appreciates the thought he could have done without the blast he got 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. Spikes checks in on 2nd and 7. Spikes gets the carry. Big hole. May have a first down at the 45. Colin makes the stop. They will bring in the chains and measure for the first down at the 45.
Nobody gets more mad at himself than David Craig when he makes a mistake, and now he's fuming.
He's really been the guy who, and it is a first down, who has fueled the Lions' resurgence, because Mitchell was just having a terrible time in there in his first year as a starter. Craig came off the bench, and it's just been sensational for them.
Yeah, you talk to any of the coaches. Wayne Fonts was the first to say, hey, the reason why we're as successful as we have been is because our quarterback is playing great football.
Spikes has another 9 yards, pushed out of bounds by Ryan McNeil. Well, all at once, it is ground Shula.
Well, they do a nice job of setting the blocks up. They run the counter. Saxton, again, does a good job of getting around, finds Spielman. But you'll notice Irving Spikes is not in any hurry to go anywhere. He lets everybody get on a body, then he sees a little daylight and he makes his move.
Missed 4 games earlier this year with a right knee injury. Spikes again. And as you pointed out, Joe, just being very patient. Spindler makes the tackle, but he has the first down.
You know, in a way, Gary Stevens, the offensive coordinator, the offensive line on pass protection usually has people pounding on their face. When you get a chance to run the football, it's like a little way of rewarding the offensive line. They would much rather run block than pass block. And that's what the Dolphin line is doing right now, and that man's giving him a chance to do it.
And the Lions are only 22nd in the league against the run. Play action by Marino. And it's almost picked off by McNeil, and I think Marino's arm was hit on that throw. McNeil had a free one.
Robert Porcher really made Dan change his release. A lot of times you got to have things going for you. Watch Marino. He brings this up a lot closer to him because of Porcher. Porcher's presence with his hand there doesn't necessarily affect the ball's speed so much, but it certainly affected the angle. Good job by Ryan McNeil hanging with the route. There's another case. Now, that's a clean interception, probably going back the other way. We've seen big play opportunities missed all night by the Detroit Lions.
And a nice effort by Fryer to reach in and get a hand on it and perhaps save the interception. Porcher, the injured player. Everyone up front for Detroit has been hurt at one time or another this year. When we did their game against Tampa Bay, they had all their starters hurt.
And their secondary people.
Absolutely. When they're healthy, it's a pretty good unit. Very hard-hitting secondary, excellent linebackers. The front three has been the question mark.
One of the keys that Wayne Font said would be for the game tonight is no turnovers. And they've had too many.
And the interception was a killer because they were down there in scoring territory.
One is too many, Mike.
Yeah. The way Miami's playing on offense. 2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz. Spikes. Dragged down near the line of scrimmage. Robert Massey came up. Looked like they brought 8 that time.
They guessed right. There's 2 reasons why you bring multiple backers and multiple safety people. You want to put pressure on the quarterback, make him get rid of the football quickly. Secondly, you want to fill every running lane, so if they do try and run, there's nowhere for anyone to go.
The Dolphins have only thrown the ball 1 time in the second half as opposed to 27 in the first. Both strategies have been very effective. Flanker screen to Williams. Breaks the tackle. Can't break the tackle of Willie Clay, who gives him a little extra at the end. And then Blades comes over to say something. I don't know what Blades would be upset about. Williams wasn't doing anything except being hung upside down.
I'll tell you, if the Lions wind up throwing a punch.
Oh, Ingram did throw one, and that'll cost them 15.
Now, if the Lions wind up throwing one, they're going to negate a great defensive play and create a problem for themselves.
Boy, and look at Marino going after Ingram. This is not the time of the year to make these kind of mistakes and cost your team 15 yards. It's just dumb. And throwing a punch may have gotten Ingram thrown out of the game. And Don Shula?
That's one of the things he's restricted to with that card. He's got to move people so that he can see. Now he's talking to Stoyanovich. If they have the spot where it is, can he kick a 52-yard field goal?
There didn't appear to be a punch thrown in this whole sequence until Ingram comes up.
There's the slap in the face of Broderick Thomas.
Personal foul, number 82, offense. Personal foul, number 51, defense. The penalty ball set.
That's a bailout, and you got to agree with Mike Johnson.
That's a chicken call. That is a chicken call by the officials here. The punch was thrown by Irving Fryer. I didn't see Broderick Thomas react one bit.
Ingram.
Or excuse me, I'm sorry, Mark Ingram.
No, Thomas didn't appear to throw a punch back at all. Let's see if we can check on the replay.
Now there's the punch. Now,
I don't know how you can flag him for it.
No, that's one of those mystery punches sometimes you see in boxing. Bad call.
4th and 3. Check it 4th and 2. The Dolphins out to go for it. Here comes the blitz. Marino unloads for Jackson and covered by Blade. Jackson wanted a holding call but won't get it. So Detroit is able to fight off the Miami offense.
It's almost 4.
We'll make it.
At Glidden, we know how hard it can be to find time to paint.
We promise.
That's why spread satin is formulated to cover the first time, so you can finish in less time. Glidden, a better way to paint. We help America move products all over the world and provide billions to improve homes and finance educations. We developed special insurance to pay for nursing home care and low-cost life insurance for people over 50. Because at Transamerica, we understand the problems people face today and make it a point to offer solutions.
Ready? Get it.
Isn't it just like Delta?
Let's make it really cool.
To design a faucet that's at both the height of style
Wow. Awesome.
and practicality. Delta, the way water is brought to life.
Thrifty Car Rental Bull Week. It's the only solid week of bulls on television. The week kicks off with the Poland Weed Eater Independence Bowl when Virginia takes on TCU. Wednesday at 8, only on ESPN.
Dolphins 27-10 over the Lions. Our thanks for tonight's overhead shots to Captain Ash and the crew of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, the 192-foot blimp based in Pompano Beach, Florida, just a little bit north of Joe Robbie Stadium. Speaking of the north, his job is done and he's here enjoying it.
That is a throwback uniform.
Way back. The Lions from their 36. Craig pressed out of the pocket. Cross with a sack. Jeff Cross now has 8.5 sacks for the year. He is 4th all-time in Miami history.
Mike, quite often when you see a defensive end make a sack, you know it's got to come from pressure up the middle. David Craig has nowhere to go. Greenville gets the good pressure up the middle. They bring a twist around. Now he's got to be flushed out. Larry Webster does a good job, number 79, coming around and forcing Craig out into cross.
2nd and 24. Craig into the flat to Herman Moore, who has been very silent tonight, taken out of bounds by Vincent. Moore has had just an exceptional year, trained very hard in the offseason with his wife, Angela, former track star at the University of Virginia, where he went to college. Said it really did a lot for his conditioning. Third and 13, and the Lions have to start making plays on offense. Craig underneath to Sanders. Oh, what a move to get away. Sanders, first down and more. He just freezes people.
The hesitation that he has and the acceleration out of it just makes everybody freeze. Doug Waddell, number 67, does a good job on Cox, allowing David Craig a place to go. Hey, why not? On 3rd down and 13, get the ball to Barry. Now watch the freeze right here.
That hesitation right there just stopped every Dolphin defender in their tracks.
Derek Moore checks into the backfield on 1st and 10.
Craig for Perriman, and it was covered beautifully. Perriman wanted a flag, but Brown was right there, and then got some help from Stewart coming over from the safety. Miami has played some sensational defense. Their corners in particular have done an excellent job. J.B. Brown and Troy Vincent. You'll see J.B. Brown's not even in the picture. That's a tough route to run, and he does bump him a little bit, but I'd qualify it as incidental contact. I know Brett wants to call, but he's not going to get it.
Sanders comes in on 2nd and 10. Rifle to Perriman inside the 30, another Lion 1st down.
That's a nice comeback call, Mike. Remember the play before when they tried to force the post and J.B. Brown was so far off? What David Craig said, hey, look, if you want to play that far off, I'll just throw the ball in front of you. See, J.B. giving Brown, Brett looks inside to see if the safety's coming. He doesn't. He makes the turn and makes the completion.
Critical drive for the Lions. It has reached the Miami 29.
Craig and Perriman dropped it. What is that, 4 tonight? Dropped 4 Lions. 2 for Herman Moore, 1 for Barry Sanders, 1 now for Brett Perriman.
Well, that was a good throw, too.
David Craig gets exactly what he wants. This time, Perriman comes around on Frankie Smith and just lets the ball get out of his hands.
2nd and 10, 3:41 to go, 3rd quarter. Draw to Sanders. Nowhere to go. Flags down. Look at this. Got a block from Perriman. Stiff arm and still picks up a couple of yards, but now we'll check the penalty. And another flag. The first one will be against the Lions. Let's check the second one. Indication against the Lions. Face mask. So these may wipe each other out. Boy, he just makes you hold your breath, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does.
Unless they call a face mask on Sanders.
2 fouls, both on the offense. The runner dressed the face mask of the tackler. That penalty is declined. Holding, number 82. That penalty is accepted. 10 yards. Repeat the down.
That's on Rodney Holman, the tight end. Here's the face mask on Sanders.
Barry comes up on J.B. Brown to try and give him the straight arm. And he winds up hanging on to the face mask.
It looked like his hand got stuck in there. It doesn't do him any good to hang on to it. So it's 2nd and 20 back at the Dolphin 39. Sanders. He gets the penalty yardage back near the 28-yard line. Brown and Frankie Smith on the tackle. This will be 3rd and 9, and you can tell that the dream of 2,000 yards looks like it's going up in smoke for Barry Sanders, but he's probably the least concerned person about it out there.
Yeah, normally the guys on the offensive line were the ones that wanted it more than Barry. Now they want to try and win this game.
3rd and 9. Great catch. The ball was behind him. He had lost his balance and somehow swung around and grabbed.
That's the difference in a team that is playing on AstroTurf all the time, where their footing is so sure. Now you come onto grass and you just don't have that sureness of footing, but this is a great adjustment.
Lions go to the hurry up with 2:03 to go, third period. Craig Chase throws to Sanders underneath. And Sanders just takes it out of bounds. For some reason, Herman Moore started out on that pattern and was walking downfield.
Well, it was a screen. I don't know why he was walking, but David Craig wanted to throw a screen to Barry Sanders. Barry just gets caught up like he doesn't realize it's to him. Watch Barry Sanders from the right of your screen. See? He's blocking. He's all tied up. Now he's looking around, and David Craig says, here, you take it.
People were not on the same page on that play.
No.
2nd and 17. Craig over the middle, knocked away by Atkins, intended for Perriman. Can't say enough about the Miami defense. These guys have been sensational.
They've been in the right place every time, Mike. They've been there to make plays. In this situation, the Lions are committed to go on both 3rd and 4th down, I think. I don't think coming away on a field goal at this point is going to do them a lot of good. So
the Miami defense of Tom Olivadotti didn't give up a touchdown a week ago either. That was scored on a kick return. 3rd and 17. Herman Moore, and it's knocked away. Gene Atkins, the reason they got him from New Orleans, they said he is a huge hitter, and we need one.
What a perfect job of timing also. Gene Atkins right there. He's going to take off and go that way. David Craig is looking all the way, so Atkins gets the jump. Now watch the timing of this hit. Before Herman Moore ever gets a chance to put it away, he's got it. No, he doesn't. He never gets it to his chest because Atkins' helmet is there.
Hansen will try a 41-yard field goal. This would cut the lead to 2 touchdowns. And just sneaked it through the right upright. Hansen converts the field goal. 27-13.
Are you a jock? Do you like to rock? ESPN presents Jock Rock, the greatest crowd rockin' sports anthems of all time on one CD. You can't get any closer to the action without getting hurt. It's not for fans, it's for fanatics. Jock Rock at record stores everywhere.
27-13 Dolphins. Let's go to Mark Malone.
Thanks, Mike. We chose Kevin Glover tonight because we said he was a key to whether or not Barry Sanders gains enough yardage to go to 2,000 yards. He hasn't been the key. In fact, Chuck Klingbeil has been the key. Look at here. He manhandles Glover, gives no place for Barry Sanders to go. Right here, they pick up the twist and the stunt pretty well, but it's that twist and stunt later in the game that ends up costing him. They lose Klingbeil. He comes free, gets in Craig's face, the interception and the turnover. Mike?
All right, thank you, Mark. And we have only 1:09 to go, third quarter. Spikes and McDuffie are deep. McDuffie from the 5. Got a couple of wicked blocks. McDuffie's still on his feet out to the 33-yard line. We'll be back to Joe Robbie in a minute. It's a 14-point game.
The deal of the year on Ford Taurus is now even better because your lease payment is now even lower. Just $237 a month for 24 months on Taurus sedan or wagon. Or you can choose low 2.9% financing or $750 cash back. Don't wait to take advantage of these 3 great offers on Taurus sedan and wagon because the deal that makes the best-selling car in America an even greater value ends January 4th. Ford Taurus.
Wrangler jeans, available in the 2 colors boys prefer most, black and blue. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
Wrangler, the perfect jean for your 10-year-old son and your 10-year-old husband. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
Hi, Tom Bodette for Motel 6 with some insight for the traveler. Well, this is what one of our rooms looks like when you're sleeping. And you know, it looks just like those big fancy hotels. Only difference is ours won't cost you nearly as much money. In fact, Motel 6 always has the lowest prices of any national chain on a clean, comfortable room. Makes you sleepy just looking at it. Well, I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
My mom and dad would always make us go to bed early because, you know, they would say Santa Claus is coming, and you'd be sitting there and you'd be like, man, you know, I just want to get up just in time, you know, to try to catch Santa Claus. But no matter what time we wake up 2 or 3 in the morning, we'd go run in the living room or the den. The toys would be there, but Santa would already been there and gone.
That's great.
He's sneaky. Sort of like Barry Sanders. Sometimes you go to find him and he's gone.
That's right.
Richmond Webb and the offensive line doing a great job tonight, both run blocking and pass blocking.
Spikes is the running back. And the Dolphins have been working that clock in the second half. Spikes across the 35 to about the 37. Forshea makes the tackle.
You know, Mike, we talked about it in the open that they had to run the football, that they just couldn't count on Dan Marino, and I think Coach Shula has got to be satisfied to this point of the balance that his team has shown, both running and passing. Of course, throwing 27 times in the first half loosens the defense up a little bit as well.
2nd and 6. Play action. Marino throws underneath and completes to Ronnie Williams, and Williams spilled out of bounds. Chris Spielman took him down.
You know, when the guys on the sideline get hit, I mean, that's all they're going to hear all week. Is how he got knocked over.
Marino has completed passes to 10 different receivers tonight, and Sims, the Pro Bowl left guard, is down. But this is what coaches dread at this time of the year. You want to go into the playoffs as healthy as you possibly can. Don Shula, of course, I thought Wayne Huizenga, the new owner of the Dolphins, made a great move when he extended Don Shula's contract and said publicly he can coach as long as he wants. If that means losing a shot at Jimmy Johnson, so be it. And I think that's the only thing you can do with a guy of this man's stature and what he's done for football.
I mean, you know, we are in the presence of greatness in Coach Shula, and I agree with you 100%, Mike.
Can also choose to be a part owner of this ball club if he would like.
Keith Sims, number 69, tries to make the block, and he just gets smacked in the face by Kelvin Pritchett.
Sims looks like he's going to be all right. And that's good news for Miami.
Richmond Webb was talking about Keith Sims. He says, you know, there are a lot of things I'd like to say sometimes, but I don't have to worry about it because Keith is the one that's going to say it for me. And, you know, he's had his differences with the organization from time to time.
Chris Gray, number 62, will check in at that guard spot, at least temporarily. Clock is running. The Dolphins are going to let it run down, and that's the end of the third quarter with Miami in control over the Detroit Lions, 27-13.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Because 94 Fleer Ultra Football has more goals, more photos, and more incredible inserts featuring superstars and hot rookies. There's one insert card in every pack. Fleer Ultra, better than ever.
This guy amazing. Show him, man. I can take this guy with one hand tied behind my back. Go for it.
Miller Lite presents Hurricane Hughes versus...
What's your name? Joe, but I'm not tricking you.
Miller Lite. You can expect great things with a great taste that's never watered down.
Got him. Bullfighter. Yeah.
Miller Lite. Can your beer do this?
What a party. All of Hollywood is here.
You know that HBO movie you love so much? Don't look now. The director is right over there by the sculpture.
I've just got to meet him.
The man is a legend. Check that. He's a genius in the making.
Excuse me, do you have any idea how excited I am to meet you?
No.
I loved your last film. It was so gutsy, intense. No one else makes movies like that. I can't believe I'm actually standing here talking to you.
Neither can I.
I have to tell you, that HBO movie really spoke to me.
HBO
Talked about movies. Movies that matter. HBO makes them, and you don't want to miss them.
Don't tell me you didn't direct that.
Don't worry. I won't.
Welcome back to Miami. At the beginning of the show, we talked about teams wanting momentum going into the playoffs. The Dolphins have lost it. Certainly looks like they have a shot at getting it back tonight.
Well, they've accomplished a couple of things that I really believe they wanted to do, Mike. First of all, they got some great goal line yardage. They got some great blocks down there. They got some great running. And secondly, they really instituted a running game to give them more balance in their offense. Those two things I'm sure Coach Shula wanted to see tonight, and he's gotten both of them.
First and 10 Miami at its own 45. Spikes. Good blocking in front, and Spikes picks up almost 10 yards. We're talking about momentum. There are several teams in the NFL right now that have it, and everybody else wants it. Most of all, San Francisco with a chance for their 11th in a row tomorrow night. New England has won 7 straight. Pittsburgh 7 of 8. The Giants, with just a year of streaks, have won 6 straight. And Detroit comes in here tonight with the 5th best streak in the league, 4 in a row, which is very much in jeopardy right now. Second and 1. Spikes lost his footing in the backfield. Spielman made the tackle and stole the football. Chris Spielman with an incredible play. And just when things look desperate, your leader does something like that.
Again.
Absolutely.
He's forced a recovered one earlier. Now he's recovered and forced one here. What a great job of reaching in. First of all, this play is bad because Spike slips. Now, he doesn't really have the ball put away, and Spielman just steals it from him before he gets him down. Watch him lock his hand in on the ball. He just strips it from him and winds up with the football.
So Parmalee has fumbled twice, Spikes once. The Lions have to start taking advantage of the breaks they're getting if they're going to have a home game in the playoffs. Craig gets Sanders. The first man never makes the tackle, it seems.
Nobody ever worries about it. As a matter of fact, the Detroit Lions on offense, when they give him the football, if there are 4 guys to the side to be blocked and a 5th shows up, they don't even worry about it. They say that's Barry's man to miss. That's how much confidence they have in his ability to avoid the first tackler.
If you just tuned in, those are the numbers. 124 Barry Sanders would need to get to 2,000. Keep in mind, against Tampa Bay, second half alone, he had 200. Less and less likely, but not out of the question. Incomplete. And Perriman really upset about it. Now another official comes in and says something. Perriman slams the ball down on the ground. He came very close to getting a 15-yarder on that one.
Second and 10.
Well, let me tell you, you know what the problem is sometimes, Mike? When you start ranting and raving, you start eating into the clock. He's the outside receiver. He goes down. Ooh. Now, I think he's got his hands under there.
Sure looked like it.
I think he makes a reception. I think it's a tough call by the official. He felt like he had it, but he sort of put pressure on David Craig by ranting and raving for a while.
Craig under pressure. Matthews got one hand on it, couldn't hold it.
On the coverage, Troy Vincent. Third and 10.
Wayne Fonts has watched his offense squander opportunity after opportunity. And Chris Spielman just continues to come up with play after play.
The Detroit Lions have thrown the ball, Joe, 18 straight times. Sanders has more yards receiving, 47, than he does rushing, 45. Now it's 3rd and 10. Comes the blitz, and Sanders just a little bit too wide for him.
Well, that's a good call by Tom Olivadotti, the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins. It's 3rd and long. You know that Craig's got to get rid of the ball in the hurry. The only guy he can go to. You'll see him come off the left side, which would be over here, come flying. There comes. He was over the slot man.
And the Lions will go for it on 4th and 10. Another blitz. Intercepted by Atkins. Needs one block. Sanders brings him down. There is a flag down on the play.
Mike, that ball was intended for Rodney Holman, number 82, but I think they're going to call the Miami Dolphins for defensive holding.
What a play. 4th and 10. It's intercepted, and now you've given him another shot with the holding penalty.
Holding. Number 23, defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Troy Vincent.
The defensive left corner, Troy Vincent. He's up against Herman Moore. Moore tries to go by him, and Vincent just locks on. Now Barry Sanders is so complete. Atkins is running down the field. He's down there making the tackle all by himself.
Got to be thinking, how do you like it? Well, there's another football on the field. Let's play with 2, guys.
Can't do that. I'm sorry.
Throw one, give the other one to Barry, and watch him scramble.
The old hidden ball trick.
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever seen that one before. The crowd's still upset about the call. But here's what the Lions have done in the second half. 26 out of 30 plays have been passes. Sanders with a rare carry. Tries to cut it outside. Gains maybe a yard. Michael Stewart made the tackle.
You know what they've done so well, Mike, is when the safeties come up to support on the outside, that time it was Michael Stewart, number 35. They don't commit. They come up just like a man past the line of scrimmage, and they create a cup. Watch this. You're going to see from the left side of your screen how they just cup them. That's what they do. They just cup them right there. And you see Michael Stewart come up. He's just not going to let Barry outflank him.
You don't see guys flying up wildly. They're in control. Second and 9, and Craig is sacked for the second time by Cross. Two big plays by Jeff Cross.
Jeff Cross showing his athletic ability, number 91. Dave Lutz, number 73, tries to cut him, but he manages to go right over the top and keep on pursuing Dave Craig. Big-time athletic play.
Miami with 3 sacks tonight, 28 yards. Cross now has 9.5. 3rd and 17. Craig for Moore. A lot of contact downfield as Vincent and Moore were hand fighting. No flag, and it's 4th and 17. Joe, they went for it on 4th and 10. Can you reasonably go for it on 4th and 17? There's 12.5 minutes to go in the game.
I think you have to. I mean, if you punt the ball down, you're going to give up 4 or 5 minutes on the clock. You need 2 scores to tie. I think you have to go for it. And if I'm Tom Olivadotti, I'm going to blitz him. This is the last play. Troy Vincent just really focusing now. He and Herman Morris both hand checking. That's a good job of defense.
4th and 15. created the pressure, and Craig Vesey got the sack. The Dolphin defense comes up big again.
Dependability is why Interstate's the #1 replacement battery. We sell them in virtually every county in America at 200,000 businesses, just like this. This one. Call 1-800-CRANK-IT for the Interstate dealer nearest you.
It's almost 4.
We'll make it.
At Glidden, we know how hard it can be to find time to paint.
We promise.
That's why Spread Satin is formulated to cover the first time, so you can finish in less time. Glidden, a better way to paint.
Corbel, for people who know champagne.
Pros wear Russell Athletic because it's made tough. It has to be.
Hey, kid! Hey, you got my lucky jersey.
Yeah?
I got kind of carried away. Can I have it back?
You gotta be kidding.
Come here, you little pissweed. You don't want that.
No!
You want athletic wear that can survive anything?
Oh.
Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Who was that kid? I don't know. Just sign him up.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Russell Athletic. For really tough athletic wear that can survive anything, get Russell Athletic. Get tough. By Corbel Champagne. Corbel, for people who know champagne. And by Glidden, celebrating 125 years of making the world a more colorful place.
11:56 to go in the game. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, Mark Malone, our entire ESPN crew with you from Miami on Christmas night. The Dolphins with a 14-point lead in the football at their own 48-yard line. The whole second half, they have worked on the ground game and the clock. Traylor into Lion territory. A gain of 4. Scroggins makes the tackle.
It's interesting, Mike. Bernie Parmalee's fumbled twice. He didn't carry the ball that time. Irving Spikes has fumbled once. He didn't carry the ball that time. All right, Aaron Craver, it's your turn. Let's see what you can do.
If he fumbles it, Saxon's the only one left.
He's the only one left, and he's a fullback, so they'll go to the fullback formation. I think Bernie Parmalee has played a good game tonight, just a couple of mistakes.
2nd and 6. Here comes the blitz. End around to McDuffie. Somehow got out of the backfield. And is within 2 yards of a first down. That could have been a loss of 10.
Benny Blaze pursued it from the other side, turned him up inside, except that the offensive line didn't stop. From the right side, number 36 comes in, really blows the play up. McDuffie does a good job of avoiding the tackle and manages to pick up a few yards.
Instead of losing 10, he gained 4. 3rd and 2. Miami getting very close to Stoyanovic's field goal range, and if they go up by 17, these Lions and Dave Craig would need 3 scores. Craver. Short. Scroggins and Spielman make a tackle. Let's go back to the playoff picture in the AFC and show you how these teams stand. If the Dolphins win tonight, then they would host a playoff game against Kansas City, and the Patriots would have to travel to Cleveland. If Miami loses this game, the Dolphins would have to go to Cleveland, and the Chiefs would go to New England to face Bill Parcells and the Patriots. And the AFC East title is also on the line. If Miami wins, they have it. If they lose, New England, and a remarkable season for them, would get the AFC title. 4th and 1.
This is interesting because, you know, do you go for it? I personally think you punt it. I think you put them back as far as you can and let the clock be your ally. This is a good decision by Coach Shula.
And the play clock may run out. And now Gordon McCarter is going to stop the clock.
He put back an additional 25, and I don't know why.
faster for you. And the Dolphins are going to use that time, too. Look at this.
I don't know why he
This is a 50-second play.
I don't know why he put it back up.
So Miami got a lot of free time on that one, and the kick goes to Clay over his head into the end zone. A 43-yard punt. And we'll be back to Miami in a moment.
Please direct your attention to the coin toss.
Gentlemen, this is heads, this is tails. Captain, call it in the air.
To commemorate its 75th anniversary, the National Football League commissioned Balfour, maker of Super Bowl championship rings, to create the official game coin for each NFL team to be used during the opening toss of every game this season. And for a limited time, you can purchase one for just $59.95. Only 7,500 coins will be pressed for each team, and each coin is individually numbered with a signed certificate of authenticity. Each coin is minted with 1 troy ounce of fine silver and overlaid in pure 24-karat gold. Order now and receive this plush display case absolutely free. Your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. Be a part of the action with your very own NFL flip coin.
Teams are selling out fast, so have your credit card ready and call 1-800-351-1200. Express delivery is available, but supplies are limited, so call 1-800-351-1200. Sorry, no CODs. Call now.
Are you a jock? Do you like to rock? ESPN presents Jock Rock, the greatest crowd rockin' sports anthems of all time on one CD. You can't get any closer to the action without getting hurt. It's not for fans, it's for fanatics. Jock Rock at record stores everywhere.
Many years ago, I recall proposing to my wife, now 34 years, proposed marriage to her right outside of church on Christmas Eve. That's probably my most vivid memory of Christmas.
And certainly a much warmer memory for Wayne Fonts than tonight is turning out to be, as his team is down 27-13. This guy is a survivor. He's had a great December record. Been on the ropes, it seems, ever since he's been the head coach of the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, September and October, everybody wants to fire him. November and December, they're talking about, hey, way to go, Wayne. Way to win another division.
That's right. He's won it 2 out of the last 3 years. Still has a shot at winning if his team can come back tonight. Craig to Sanders. Pushed out of bounds by J.B. Brown, and he will have a first down. So Sanders has become a receiver and not a running back. And here is the Lions' record under Fonts. 17-9 in December. By far his best month.
You know, he sort of hangs around. In September, he stays about even. October, he is about even. November, they start to get on him a little bit, and then all of a sudden, boom, he takes off.
He is only 4 wins short of #1 all-time in Lions football history. Craig sacked again. Tim Bowen. Other players say it's like he knows the snap count. He's off the ball so quickly.
Sean Bowens, number 66, is the culprit again. They get him. There's Bowens. And Bowens is just going to take him back off the ball. It's Bowens on Bowens, and Bowens wins.
Craig goes to the hurry-up, throws to Matthews. Matthews chased out of bounds to the 35-yard line by Muhammad Oliver. 5 sacks on the night for Miami.
Joe Green's front line has done a terrific job. They put a lot of pressure on David Craig all by themselves tonight. When your 4 front guys, Mike, can put pressure on, gives you a lot of flexibility defensively.
3rd and 6. 8:23 to go in the game. The Lions need 2 touchdowns. Herman Moore. The play designed to get just enough yards, and it did for the first down. Nice throw by Craig.
Offensively, the Lions have got to stay in the hurry-up offense. They get a break here with the clock being stopped while they move the chains.
Michael Stewart is the injured player. SportsCenter will follow our broadcast. The Dolphins really did a great job in the free agent market getting Stewart and Atkins after they lost Oliver and Williams. They feel they really upgraded the position and one of the better secondaries around right now.
They really are. The corners, Vincent and Davey Brown, give you legitimate cover guys. They're not small. They're both 6 feet tall. They're both about 195 pounds, so they can be physical with any receiver in the league.
Amazingly enough, the Lions still in this game, down by 2 touchdowns. They have been dominated by Miami. It was total domination in the first half, but a kickoff return for a touchdown really helped them.
David Craig really made his debut in the Green Bay Packer game when they were down by a lot. Ran the hurry-up offense almost the entire time he was in there and was very, very effective. Play is out to your left side. Herman Moore just sort of hits him with his left foot in the hip. Watch his left foot come up. Give him a little whack right in the kidney area.
And Atkins is up and being taken to the sideline. A new set of downs for the Lions. I'm sorry, Stewart, not Atkins. And you're right, it was right in the kidney area with the heel of the shoe or the spikes. And Chris Green, number 42, will check in. Stewart in his 8th year out of Fresno State. Craig to Moore. Vincent got him near the Dolphin 48-yard line. You know, when you talk about Dave Craig, you don't really think of Dave Craig as somebody who fits into the record books. But when you look at the numbers he has racked up, he is 11th all-time in touchdown passes, 230 career touchdown passes, and he's 15th all-time in the NFL in yards. Those are pretty good numbers.
I mean, he just continues to post numbers after numbers, and he'll keep on playing another 2-3 years at least.
They'll bring in the chains to measure for the first down. Of course, he labored in relative obscurity most of his career in Seattle, where you don't get all the press you would if you played in New York or Miami with a high-powered offense.
I think one thing you have to remember is all the records that Steve Largent set were compliments of his good friend Dave Craig.
And just shy of the first down. I mean, just look at Dave Craig. 7th all-time in passing efficiency, 15th in yards, and 230 career touchdown passes. That is 11th all-time. I mean, the guys in front of him, Tarkenton, Marino, Unitas, Montana, Jurgensen, Fouts, Hadel, Tittle, Dawson, and Blanda. I mean, one of those guys isn't in the Hall of Fame.
Hadel's, I think, the only one that's not in the Hall of Fame. Of course, Montana isn't because he's not eligible yet, but he will be.
They might as well send him in before he quits.
They should.
2nd and inches. Sanders. Finally a chance to run a little bit, and what did he do to Atkins? Atkins had his hands all over him and eventually lost him. Barry made 2 or 3 little moves.
Gain is 5 yards. Everybody thinks they have Barry Sanders, and they find out they don't. Little delayed draw. Craig goes back. Now, he's just reading people. All right. Well, Hollier almost had a foot. Atkins is just, I mean, that's just thankless. He's just grabbing and grabbing.
Get a handful of air. Craig underneath. Oliver was good coverage on Matthews. Update the numbers on Barry Sanders' quest for 2,000. Still needs 117 yards with 7:07 to go. About his only hope would be in overtime. And if you believe in omens, the only other time the Miami Dolphins ever played on Christmas was the longest game in the history of the NFL. It went into the second overtime. Craig Moore couldn't hold it, and great coverage by Vincent.
Boy, Troy Vincent just has not given Herman Moore a chance to breathe all night. This is going to be a quick post. Now Vincent, he's got the room. That time, Troy just gets his left hand in front before it gets to Herman's chest.
Well, that's great recognition of the routes. He's breaking on the ball at the same time Moore is. 3rd and 10. Craig gets it to Matthews. He has the first down to the Dolphins, 28-yard line.
Aubrey Matthews was out last week. Johnny Morton filled in for him. He's back healthy now.
Matthews is one of those guys who is going to run the route you expect him to run, and if you throw him the ball, he'll catch it.
Yeah, he just has a knack for finding holes.
Craig chased out of the pocket. Has all day to throw, back against the grain, completes to Perriman. Well, it's one of those passes where you hold your breath that you throw all the way back across the field.
Yeah, but you know what? At least I'll tell you what he did. For young quarterbacks watching, at least he stopped and turned to make the throw as he scrambles. Watch, he's not throwing across his body. He stops, he plants his foot, and he just makes a very long throw.
Into the end zone. Vincent nearly intercepted it. Vincent looks like he has been attached to Moore by a foot-long cord. He's been that close to him all night.
Herman Moore and Troy Vincent, he plays them close, and then he plays them back. That time he had a shot at the interception and just let it get away.
2nd and 10, a field goal does the Lions no good. Down by 14. Craig to Herman Moore at the 5. It's another first down.
Well, he didn't have any success going up against Troy Vincent with him, so he figured he'd put him over on J.B. Brown.
1st and goal. Craig to Matthews, touchdown.
David Craig doing a terrific job engineering that drive. That time Matthews beat Muhammad Oliver just on the inside of the quick post. It's going to be on the right of your screen. He just sets and waits. He's just waiting. Aubrey Matthews makes the move inside. Good job by the line.
And that's the first touchdown the offense has produced. Point after is good, and we have a 7-point game with 5:46 left. David Craig has pulled the Lions back within a touchdown.
Hey, I Bud Bowl game card. You know Bud Bowl with Chris Berman?
You could win a cool $1 million. Plus, there's Viper, Sea-Doo, and lots more. During January, follow the score on TV and where you buy Bud and Bud Light. Write it down and bingo. So, who do you think's going to win? Hey, what are you guys looking at?
70,000 entered, but only one became a living legend. Michael Joyce, winner of ESPN's Football Legend Sweepstakes.
Thanks, ESPN.
ESPN, where legends are made. This sweepstakes is sponsored by Savannah, No Wrinkle Cotton Clothing.
27-20, the Dolphins, who had a big lead and have seen it cut to 7, will get the football back with 5:46 left in the game. Hansen tees it up at the 30. He'll kick to Spikes and McDuffie. That is O.J. McDuffie averaging nearly 21 yards a return. The Lions have to consider themselves very fortunate to be in this game at all, let alone within 7. Nice kick by Hansen. Spikes across the 20. Across the 30.
Spikes to the 33. Return of 30 yards.
You know, Mike, this whole second half, the Dolphins, they scored 27 points in the first half. They've scored no. But look at the distribution of runs versus passes. 27 passes in the first half, 17 runs. In the second half, 12 rushes, only 4 passes. I think they really tried to pound the ball. They were not as aggressive trying to put points on the board. I think Coach Shula says, okay, this thing's back to even now. You're going to see Marino put the ball in the air again.
Craver and Parmalee are the backs. Play action. Marino throws to McDuffie. And he's out to the 38-yard line.
Now, Herb Patera, the defensive coach of the Lions, has got this game back where he can control it a little bit on the defensive side. He can play a little bend, don't break now. You know, this thing's come back to where Herb has a little bit more of a feel for what he wants to do.
Although he can't afford to bend much, the Dolphins are already out to the 38-yard line. Parmalee stuffed by Johnson and Forshea. Got maybe a half a yard. And the crowd's starting to rumble a little.
You know, Michael, you were talking about the acquisition of the Dolphins of Michael Stewart and Gene Atkins really helping that defense out. The acquisition of the Lions of Mike Johnson from the Cleveland Browns really gave them a real good compliment to Chris Spielman on the inside.
And Broderick Thomas, the other linebacker.
That's right.
Addition. 3rd and 4. Clock running, 4:20 left. Pressure throws. It hit Johnson in the back, intended for Spikes. Although he never saw the ball, great coverage by Michael Johnson.
Well, you're down in a situation now in the game where your defense has to come up with a play, and he does. Out to the left. There comes the big rush from Swilling. Dan's got to fire it, and really just hits Mike right in the back of the head. Like you said, Mike.
Willie Clay will go back to take the punt. Wayne Fonz said, if it comes down to the last couple of minutes and the game's on the line, you might see Barry Sanders back there. But right now, Clay is.
Don't hold!
And Kidd gets off another terrible punt. Put it out of bounds out near the 35-yard line. So good field position for the Lions and 4 minutes.
Are you a jock? Do you like to rock? ESPN presents Jock Rock, the greatest crowd rockin' sports anthems of all time on one CD. You can't get any closer to the action without getting hurt. It's not for fans, it's for fanatics. Jock Rock at record stores everywhere.
27-20 with 4 minutes to go. Let's check in with Mark Malone.
Thanks, Mike. I talked to my old teammate before the game, Joe Green. He thought that his defensive line matched up well against Glover and the Detroit offensive line, and that has been the story tonight in regards to Barry Sanders' effectiveness. Take a look at this. Glover has the key block at the point of attack. He can't stay on Cox. Cox forces Sanders outside, a 1-yard gain. Then on 4th and 2, Klingbeil dominates the line of scrimmage. No movement, no first down. And then again, we showed you this earlier. They lose Klingbeil on the stun. He forces the early throw. That's an interception. That kills the drive. It's been a dominating first half, second half, entire football game for the Miami front four. Mike?
They're making that offensive line really scramble, aren't they, Mark? Sure. Glover leads them out of the huddle on 1st and 10. Craig short for Perriman. Let's go back to Mark.
Here are the final numbers so far going into this drive. 62 plays for Detroit. They've only run the ball 15 times, 47 passes. Sanders, 12 rushes for 52 yards. Here's some key stats. Key blocks, none. Missed blocks, 2 for Glover. Miami has 4 pressures, 5 sacks, and 5 quarterback hits. Pretty dominating performance.
Marking the spotlight this year on Sunday night, we have seen several dominating performances. 2nd and 10. Four-man rush. Perriman almost came up with a circus catch at the 45, and J.B. Brown was right there again.
Well, you know, Mike, we just can't talk enough about the job these corners have done for the Dolphins. They just don't give the receivers of the Lions a chance to make a play. Perriman does a good job coming off the ball, but J.B. Brown is right there and sticks the right hand in.
Well, they just took away the outside totally.
And David Craig doesn't need to go for all of it here.
3rd and 10. Craig floats one, dropped, then intercepted out of bounds. No, inbound. Michael Stewart got the bounce. And the Lions are really upset. Craig had 1 interception all year coming into this game. And now the officials confer, and it is Miami ball. I will be interested in this replay.
So is David Craig. The throw is going to be out to his left to Johnny Morton. It's a corner pattern. Now Morton gets hit. He never gets down. Stewart's got both feet in bounds.
Good call.
And has the good interception. Watch to the left. There's Michael Stewart. He's just standing there.
And he could have saved the Dolphins' playoff chances with that pick. Detroit has all of its timeouts left.
Dan Marino and the Dolphin offense have to come up with some plays.
Parmalee, room to run outside. Got away from Massey. Flag is down. He stayed in bounds. Spielman eventually made the tackle. Now we'll check the penalty.
We have a flag on the play.
And this one comes back. Crucial penalty for Miami.
Well, this does a couple things, Mike. First of all, it takes away a 9-yard gain. But secondly, the clock would have continued.
Holding. Number 88 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Keith Jackson.
See, the clock would have continued to run. And, of course, the clock is the Dolphins' ally. Coach Shula does not want to see another game slip from him. He's had a tough December as of late.
Would you throw the ball here, or would you run and force Detroit to use the timeout?
I'd throw the football because I want to try and move the ball and get first down.
Parmalee on 1st and 20, hit a couple of times. Spielman makes another tackle. As Parmalee gets out to the 39, and Detroit will use its first timeout.
You've got Dan Marino. I think you take your chance. Wayne Huizinga. Do I have to tell you on the right? On the left, Brian Cox.
Cox would like to own the team.
I don't want to comment on anything, but they both seem to have a very clear top.
Coming up next, Sports Center, Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann. They'll bring you up to date on everything in sports, including the final AFC playoff picture wrap-up. Will Dick Vermeil leave broadcasting to go to the Philadelphia Eagles as coach and general manager? And Barry Sanders, the subject of our Sunday conversation. I think everybody involved in football has to feel very sad for Barry Sanders that he did not get a legitimate shot tonight because of the way the game went to get his 2,000 yards. But 1883 for the season. He will win the rushing title. Just a brilliant year for a brilliant player who's only been in the league 6 years.
I think 169 was somewhat of an unrealistic number, but I mean, we all had hope because he certainly has the ability to do it.
2nd and 17 for Miami. Marino with time in the flat to Parmalee. The defender fell down. And Parmalee to the 40 for a first down. I think it was Mike Johnson who had him out of the backfield. He slipped and fell, and it was all over.
It was Mike Johnson. Bernie Parmalee coming up with a big play. Great job by the offensive line, giving Marino time again. Marino's just got all day. Good job by the guys up front. Johnson falls down. Parmalee turns around. No one's there. And he picks up the first down.
Detroit with 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning left to stop the clock. And they'll have to stop him on this series. Parmalee, Spielman just crushes him at the line of scrimmage. It is such a joy to watch that guy play football. Unless you have the ball in your possession.
Yes, not fun. Not fun at all.
The Lions use another timeout. We have 2:31 left. Dan Marino is the master at using receivers. He has used 10 different guys tonight. 9 to the wide receivers, 3 to the tight ends, 13 to the backs.
Basically, Mike, what he's done is take what the Detroit Lion defense has given him. I mean, that tells you how great Dan Marino is. If he's got to go up top, he will. If you won't let him go up top, he's just fine. I'll just kill you underneath. Showed a lot of patience. Not his nature either. He loves to get it down the field. One thing you want to pay special attention to, Bernie Parmalee, whoever the backs are going to put 2 hands on the ball.
Marino wants to change the play, moves Saxon. Parmalee. Spielman in on another tackle along with Kelvin Pritchett. Spielman up to 195 tackles this year. The last time out, they also get the 2-minute warning, so this is the key play. For the 45-second clock, as you have pointed out all year, if you can get under 2 minutes and the other team has no timeouts left, you can leave.
They can, and I think here's where the Dolphins have to make a decision. What Coach Shula's got to decide is, do we run it, let it go down to 2 minutes, it's going to stop. If we throw it, I get a chance to pick up a first down and ice this game. If Dan Marino throws it, I don't think another 23 seconds is going to matter, because Stoyanovich could try the field goal, or John Kidd might punt it back. I think you got to throw the ball to try and pick up the first down. That would be the play that would make the most sense, I think, for the Dolphins.
Just from a time standpoint, Joe, I think you're absolutely right. You'd only gain 17, 18, maybe 19 seconds by not throwing the ball. Here's what the quarterbacks have done tonight. Marino with 264 yards, most on short passes. Craig has now thrown the ball 46 times.
2 interceptions tonight. One, his fault. The other one, the ball bounced in the air.
3rd and 9. And Marino just walks back to Gordon McCarter because the play clock was running out, and he will use a timeout to save the penalty. Well, the Dolphins didn't do a very good job of managing the clock that time.
I always wonder sometimes if the other teams called the timeout, what did you do while they were calling a timeout when you walk out there and you have to call a timeout? I mean, it's not necessarily like you're going to get a look that you haven't seen before from a defensive standpoint.
So Marino goes back to the sideline. You had mentioned the possibility of a field goal. I don't think they would try one. First of all, it would be about 56 yards from here, and if they miss it, they would give the ball to the Lions out around the 45, 46-yard line.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Barry Sanders hoping against hope for another shot here with 2:24 left in the game. And Marino brings them out on 3rd and 9. They spread the field. Marino with a pump fake. Throws underneath, complete to Williams. Williams takes a first down. But there's a flag down, and it will come back.
Keith
a
Sims,
holding call.
Number 69, Keith Sims is over pleading his case with Gordon McCarter.
Holding. Number 69, offense. 10 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
Keith Sims, the left guard, number 69.
3rd and 19.
There he is right there. Now he's locked up on Porcher, and he just sort of pushes Porcher and lays on top of him. And they wind up throwing the flag.
Now it's 3rd and 19. Same formation, 4 wide. Marino to Craver on the screen. Craver lost the ball. The Dolphins get it back. Fryer caught it in midair. Holy cow. What a turn of emotions on that play. The screen gives them the first down, and then Craver, the only back who's played a lot, who hasn't fumbled, coughs that one up.
They're running out of people who haven't fumbled for the Miami Dolphins.
A break for Miami. We've reached 2 minutes.
You don't even want to know about Barry Sanders, man. He does things on the field that just makes your eyes go all crazy. I mean, one time I saw him running right through people like a cannonball loose inside a pinball machine. Bing, 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 bing. Yeah. And then Barry did this move. Sometimes I still see it when I sleep. And I don't sleep that much.
Ready? Get it.
Isn't it just like Delta?
Let's make it really cool.
To design a faucet that's at both the height of style and practicality. Delta, the way water is brought to life.
Auto Show concept cars. Cars with exciting features like supercharged engines. Finally, someone's built one for you. Introducing the 1995 Riviera with an available supercharged engine that breathes deep for maximum power. It's amazing what a breath of fresh air can do. The all-new Riviera by Buick. What a concept.
27-20 Dolphins, 2 minutes to go. Barry Sanders will not reach that magical 2,000-yard mark, but he has the 4th best season rushing of anybody all time. 1,883 yards. And, folks, he has been a marked man every time he has touched the ball all year long.
You know, in talking to him on Friday, Mike, he said something interesting. He said, no matter what happens this year, I hope to come back next year with a better one. He's not done.
All the Dolphins have to do now is kneel down. Detroit cannot stop the clock. Miami will be at home for the first round of the playoffs. They will play the Kansas City Chiefs. Marino against Montana. Now the Lions are down to this. If they lose this ball game, and it looks very likely that they will, and the Vikings win tomorrow night, then the Bears will play at the Vikings in the first round. The Lions would have to go to Green Bay. If the Lions lose and the Vikings lose, and they are underdogs tomorrow night, the Lions would be at the Vikings, the Bears would be at the Packers, and the Packers would have won the Central Division.
Thank you, Michael.
And you're very well. Take a breath. And what did they say last night? It is Central Time in the NFL. No reason for Dave Craig to hang his head coming into this game. 13 touchdown passes, 1 interception. He didn't get it done tonight, but you have to credit the Miami defense for a brilliant effort.
And congratulations to Coach Don Shula for his 319th regular season win.
Hey, that cart doesn't say legend on the front of it for nothing.
That's right. Doesn't say Dolphin 1 either.
Marino kneels down, and Miami will not have to snap the football again. Don Shula will be home for the first round of the playoffs.